Vegeta, what does the scouter say about their subscriber count?
It's 9,010.
Wait, so you mean?
Yes, Nappa. It's
over. It's over?
It's over 8,000!
What? Wait, what?
There is a story so strange in its implications that it defies ordinary classification.
I don't care if you've been doing whatever it takes for America's ass all night. If you up, smash that like button. Welcome to Black and the Black Times. I'm your host, Cthulhu's Prodigy, coming to you live and direct from the stack. Smoke me out, fam, with that dang shit on my left. Shit.
Anybody that said you shouldn't have sex before a big fight was wrong.
Oh, on my far right, engineering on the ones and twos, choke people on the threes, four chronos.
Nobody's gonna miss Black Widow.
Oh, we gotta talk about it. We gotta talk about it.
Damn.
Last but not least, we got the oldest ninja in the world, Old Ninja.
I don't care if you even have your entire team on your back. No
Vegeta,
matter how many is
what
in
does
your
the
squad,
scouter say
you can
about their
still blow a
subscriber
3-1
count?
lead.
Oh, God damn it. You know this is the cast that they've been
Wait,
waiting
so
for.
you mean?
Yes, Nappa.
We finna go in.
This is about to be. This might turn into a roast.
Might be.
We don't know. We're going to try to keep it civil, even though y'all already know we ain't going to keep it civil.
Fuck
but
your civility.
Yeah,
There you go.
you just wait.
Throw that
I
gauntlet.
may have to get some receipts.
Throw that gauntlet down. Let's go. Who's to have in that chat?
All right, first in the chat would be Warrior Fellow. What's going on?
All
Good
right.
to see you again.
Good shit.
Still messed up.
Pink Panthers, that's hilarious.
Also, let me see. Who would be listener of the week? Listener of the week would be user 5330266618, and then another user.
Favorite bots?
Yeah, so
Love it.
listen a
Much
bunch of
love.
times, so it's all good.
All right. Old Ninja, you pouring out grape soda this week?
Nah, we pouring out some King Cobra for the king himself. Well, for some people, he might have been a king, but to me, he was someone that would impacted American culture
Yeah.
for generations, and that would be director John Singleton.
Damn.
He had a stroke about a week or so ago, a little more than a week, because we didn't talk about it when he did have the stroke.
Yep.
And then apparently his condition got worse. He went into a coma, and then he was actually taken off of life support, or earlier, I believe Monday-ish. And there's conflicting reports that he already passed. It was really they just took him off of his family, took him off of life support, and then he passed later on that day. He was 51 years old. Most people know his work, of course, from Boys in the Hood, very big breakout film, a look into the Compton, LA black community culture. Once again, also
Lawrence Fishburne in it.
Lawrence Fishburne, Cuba Gooding Jr. That's what got the Oscar eye on Cuba Gooding. Pretty much was that film.
And they did Snow Dogs.
Oh,
Yeah.
Damn, I
Damn.
forgot.
Uh,
What was that movie where he played a mentally handicapped individual?
Radio.
Okay, I never saw it.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Snow Dogs?
Oh!
Oh.
Why are we turning this into
Yeah,
a cabin
why-
session?
Yeah, Singleton.
What did Cuba do wrong?
Yeah, I know, right? Singleton
I'm just messing
also,
around.
he also directed, what was it, Four Brothers, Shaft. A lot of people love Baby Boy, which is
Just.
probably one of
There
the
we go.
few films I haven't
That was a
seen in my head.
unintentionally hilariously funny movie.
Which one?
You thought Baby,
Baby
Boy
Boy.
was funny?
Oh.
Unintentionally hilarious. With Snoop and all that? Come on now.
Yeah, I guess.
Give me back my son, Yvette.
Also, a look at college life in like the late 90s with Higher Learning.
Higher Learning was good.
He did a Fast and the Furious.
He did Too Fast, Too Furious.
Yeah.
Some people hate on that film. Other people love that film. He was also an avid Star Wars fan. F you, Stitch.
Don't say shit, Stitch.
Hating ass hater.
He also, I believe, didn't he direct the Remember the Time video with MJ?
Yes, he
did.
did.
Yeah.
Wow.
He did.
That was
I
impressive.
That's
forgot
one of my
about that.
favorite-
That was him and Iman and Eddie Murphy, weren't they?
Yes.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Very
Damn.
impressive.
Forgot about that.
I mean, he was an influential director for the time. He was like slightly outspoken, but he definitely did films that people were talking about, and some of them were critically acclaimed as well as commercially successful.
I saw a really cool video. I assumed it was when he was filming Poetic Justice, where him and Tupac were taking a break from filming, and they did a street race or whatever, just on foot, just be like, oh, I'm faster than you. All right, let's run to the end of this block and see or whatever. So it was really cool, but I couldn't tell who actually won because the camera was at the the starting point, but it was
shit.
pretty cool to watch those two. I was like, oh shit, I forgot about those.
I feel like Pac would win that race. But I don't know.
Singleton
don't
could
know.
run.
Maybe he was
like
fast
Pac-
in his day.
I was like, Pac could toss him. But maybe he ran track back in
Who knows?
in wherever he went to school at or something.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Never know. But yeah, I mean, R.I.P. to a very influential director. One of my definite favorites, and he was also a self-proclaimed Star Wars fan.
Does he have
on top.
like family in the film industry, like a son or anything
know.
like
You know
that?
what?
Or is-
I don't know. I think he might.
Who knows?
I'm just curious. Huh?
I always heard though that he wanted to cast Pac in Baby Boy, but obviously Pac had passed.
Yeah, but he also wanted to do Luke Cage with Tyrese's Luke.
Ooh.
He was promoting that super hard for like years.
Wow. I mean,
Pre-MCU.
yeah. You know, who knows? Who knows? And obviously we had Blade in the '90s, so who knows?
Never know.
I got one more for you, if it's not on your list.
Go ahead. I think I know what you're talking about.
Okay, so the co-founder and director from Studio Ghibli, the makers of Spirited Away and Princess Mononoke and all those others, Isao Takahata. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Oh, you say arigato like we say arigato.
He passed away at age of 82. So
I thought was he recent or did
yeah,
we
very
already-
recent. I saw this as recently as
Yeah.
I think yesterday.
There's actually
Oh,
maybe today.
a bunch of anime directors have died recently.
Yeah, I was about to say I thought we covered him. Maybe it's someone else that we covered.
It's probably somebody else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just
You
R.I.P. I
trying
mean,
to
that
say-
studio
You
is
trying to say they all sound the same?
yeah.
Oh,
what you
I didn't
doing?
say that. You said that.
You said
Just
that.
said, no, I didn't.
Just saying.
But that studio is fucking awesome,
y'all
man.
look alike.
I haven't seen every single one of the movies, but man, they produce some hits. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
incredible films.
there's also Tony Braxton's niece. I guess she committed suicide.
I saw that, but okay, so
Damn.
is she like?
Is she in
I
the
hate to- I don't-
entertainment industry?
Everybody's
Does she have a
important,
career
but is
that
she?
you
Yeah,
check in?
exactly.
I
Is
don't
she
know.
somebody or?
I don't know. She
Okay.
could be on one of those reality shows that we don't watch.
Everybody's somebody.
Oh,
Yeah, you prodigy.
she could be on that. What was that? Is it Love and Hip Hop or whatever?
Oh,
or,
well, those
or
aren't people.
Marriage
Yeah,
Camp?
exactly.
Yeah,
I can't
marriage
watch
marriage boot camp with Soulja Boy.
Oh shit!
I don't know. I don't watch all
Trash
that stuff.
TV.
Yeah. Well, R.I.P. to all those folks.
Yeah, man.
Purple Kool-Aid out on the floor.
Oh, here we go. Let me pour some out real quick.
There we go. We flipped the coin, I think, prior to the cast. Obviously, everybody's waiting on the whole in-game stuff, but we're going to make you wait a
Did we say
little
about
bit
Blue
longer.
not being in here?
Oh, yeah, Blue ain't here. If you hadn't noticed, Blue's over in Orlando cupcaking with the sweetness.
Yeah.
He
also-
got his Disney ear. She's
Yeah.
also drunk, ain't he?
And his birthday was the other day. It was,
Yeah.
I think it was yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was yesterday.
He's streaking at Epcot,
Oh, getting kicked out. Getting
Yep.
tackled by Disney security.
getting blacklisted.
Oh, shit. You know, that shit ain't no joke.
You got a story to tell, old ninja?
No, I've heard multiple stories, but no, I didn't get caught up. But I've heard people being blacklisted from Disneyland. I'm like, how the fuck do you get kicked out of the happiest place on earth?
You
Yeah.
whip your
They
dick
don't
out a
play.
couple times. It's going to happen, man.
It's because if you're the blackest dude on earth,
Ah.
I can kick you out of the happiest place on earth.
That explains why I haven't been back.
Oh, shit. Okay. So we flipped the coin. We're going to go with them thrones first and foremost.
All right, so if I'm not even gonna do. Usually, what I do is I'll go back into the podcast and I'll say like where we stopped talking about whatever. But this is gonna be a spoiler episode for like pretty much the whole
The
fucking
whole
thing.
time.
So
Fuck
if you
your
don't
feelings.
if you don't watch Game of Thrones or you haven't watched Endgame yet, save this podcast until after you watch those. If you plan on watching those,
Yeah.
the show and the movie.
You know how we
Because we're
do.
just gonna spoil the shit out of it.
We got the listener like for the first 5 minutes, so we get the
Yeah.
stat
Yeah.
if they
yeah.
if they pause it now and then come
Yeah,
back
this
a
is
week
your
later.
this is your point. Your point of no return.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Set up them thrones.
before we start talking about it, I gotta say how fucking for real I was about unfriending motherfuckers on Facebook.
Tell him.
So,
Go into that.
Because people were spoiling shit about Game of Thrones as it was airing, and I was getting pissed because I was waiting because I'd wait for my daughter to go to bed, and some people kept showing Arya, and unfortunately Stitch got caught up in that shit.
What happened, Stitch?
I literally unfriended Stitch from Facebook.
Damn.
Because I wasn't fucking around. I think it was like 3 or 4 people got unfriended.
It be your own people.
Spoiling shit.
What had happened was
Damn.
yeah,
You know what? I need a grape drink for this.
So I'm really respectful about the whole
Not this time.
the whole spoiler thing.
Actually pretty good.
So I think I put like Dim Thrones.
No.
and then
Okay. Hold on. I gotta stop you.
can't even explain
So
my story.
because this is what happened to me. Because you got caught up in this too. I was unaware of what time it was because I don't wear a watch. And I didn't know
You ain't got a cell phone, motherfucker?
I put my cell phone away because I was at work. So I kept it away, and I needed to get information from somebody, and it happened to be on Facebook because I needed to check out where they were. And the first two things I see, the first one is your boy Cthulhu's handsome cuck Zach.
Oh yeah.
Zach.
He was the first one to go.
Yeah.
Zach was
I
out
was like,
there.
nah, bro.
The first thing I see from him is the Night King had a 3-1 lead and lost.
Blew a 3-1 lead.
Yeah, he blew a 3-1 lead. And then the second thing, like literally, because my timeline is loading and I'm trying to get below, is a picture from Stitch that shows the Night King with the crying Jordan face on it.
Yep.
Those are the first two things I see.
think
and I'm like, dude, what are you doing,
that was the one that
Stitch?
got you. Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? And then as I'm trying to like get to this other person and log out, more shit's flowing through.
Yep.
I see fucking a meme with Arya's face over Dillard from Portland. From Portland
Dame
Trailblazers.
Lillard.
Yeah, well, I said Lillard.
Sports go sports.
Yeah, fuck
You said Dillard, motherfucker.
Anyway,
Dillard.
I was like, what?
Lillard. She had the
Dildo.
Yeah,
He's my favorite player.
yeah,
Drew Dildo.
yeah. Drew Dildo. That's great. Yeah. There's just memes with the Arya's face over, so I already knew that these two people were involved, and one obviously kills the other. So I'm like, motherfucker.
Okay, let Stitch explain himself.
Okay.
He got a little excited.
So I put like Dim Thrones, and then I put underneath Dim Thrones I put meme spoilers in the comments and everything.
Okay.
So then I go in the comment section and decided to talk about it, because normally when I'm a part of that what's it called, the comic book nerd, a bunch of comic book nerd things, and I'll have like spoiler discussion thread, and then you go in the comments and you fucking talk or whatever.
Yes.
And I've never been able to see anything except if it's like a verbal comment from like a friend.
yeah.
I can see maybe 1 or 2 lines. I've never seen pictures because obviously I'm friends with Cthulhu, and I know anytime he comments on something, I can't open it up at work because it's going to be something that's not safe for work, and especially if I'm wearing a body camera.
Ever.
So I was like, okay, it's safe for me to put Dim Thrones and then have a discussion and my discussions was only meme photos because Twitter was going nuts. And I was like, I don't want to comment and say who defeated who or whatever, because if a lot of times I can see, oh yeah, Cthulhu commented on that, Kronos commented,
This ain't
and I
got
can,
shit to do with me.
well, I'm just saying, for example, or whatever. This is just prime example. It'll say like Cthulhu comment or Cthulhu replied, and I can't see what the fuck it says.
Cthulhu did
I
it.
know,
Yeah.
I know it's a GIF, and I know it's something, something not appropriate.
In Stitch's defense, you are the one that will pull some shit like that, ruining shit with your funky, nasty ass, stanky ass memes.
Yeah.
This ain't about me,
I'm
motherfucker.
just saying his
Don't
example.
change the subject. We ain't flipping it.
His example's legit. All right, keep going.
So
y'all.
I go into the thing and I'm just reposting crazy shit that I've fucking seen on the internet. And I guess on other people's phones or whatever user, which is weird because even people with like Notes 9s and stuff said, oh no, I can see comments. I was like, that's weird. So maybe my phone just knows to
What it
not
look
fuck
like
with
on your
shit.
end, Kronos?
So I knew about the thing you're talking about, but that wasn't the problem. Because I knew about that when I was trying to skip over that one. Because you were posting hell shit, I was skipping over it. But you had a post that was like on your actual fucking wall. That was it was a meme, and I was just like, well, shit.
Nope.
And this is Sunday night.
Yeah, as it was like I was either as I was watching or just before I was gonna watch.
Because I know I didn't comment
Yeah.
anything till it was probably like third, because I didn't start watching till maybe I was 30 minutes late from watching. When
Your
everyone
ass
else was.
guilty.
I'm not asking for. I'm not trying to. You just asked for what
I'm just
happened.
messing.
Yeah, I think you were 30 minutes late for like the East Coast feed, right? Because you were probably watching it at like around 6 something.
Yeah, because I started watching
Yeah.
in my living room, but there was dark issues, which we'll discuss later in
Yeah.
terms of stuff. So I was like,
I'm clowning.
I had to go somewhere else and watch. I was like 30 minutes behind on everything else that was
Got
going
excited.
on. So I'm not trying to say, oh, it's your fault. You should have stayed off the internet or whatever. I'm not that dude. I take my lick where I whatever.
No,
I spoiled some shit
I'll refriend
on accident.
You. It's all right. I'll refriend you like when Game of Thrones is done. You got 2 weeks. Yeah.
He said in June I'll be back.
It's so funny. Like
So
I feel like an asshole because today, like, on Facebook, I'll right before we air, I'll put in, the live stream link, and I'll put, we're about to go live, and I'll put in all of our names and shit for like tagging. And I was like, where the fuck is your name? I was like, oh, that's right.
Yeah.
But those memes were hot fire.
They came out
I
fast
can't-
and furious.
Woo! It might have been like the all-star meme thing.
No.
People were just on point with some gifs and photoshopping, and I was like, how'd they have these like loaded up?
No,
like,
the
so
best one I
quick?
saw was the end part where Arya's gonna stab the Night King. It was to DMX's stop.
Oh, yeah.
Drop. Shut him down. Open up shop. I was like, damn.
It was good.
I think the best one I've seen was Arya about to do the same thing, but to the Avengers theme.
Oh,
that shit was fucking. It was better than the actual episode's music.
good.
I was like, holy shit, this works so fucking good. It's actually on our Twitter page. It's been retweeted. It's probably one of the recent tweets. You can see it. Or check what we retweeted, and it's right there. It's amazing.
In case you're wondering, like, what's the appropriate amount of time before you can talk about a TV show? It's usually 48 fucking hours. Just two goddamn days. You need to let people, like, because people have kids and shit, or they have, night jobs or something like that where they can't watch it exactly when it comes out. So just wait 48 hours. Don't be a dick. And after 48 hours, post whatever the fuck you want. But if you do it before 48 hours, you're going to lose a lot of friends. Me being first.
I got a recommendation as well. If you feel the need to discuss it, go in like a group chat, of DM people who have already seen it and know that it's going to be some spoilers. If you're on Facebook, now if you're on Twitter, Twitter's the wild west.
Yeah,
on this
Twitter's
shit.
don't
So
matter.
if let's say for Avengers, because I remember seeing like, oh, this is the spoiler discussion thread, and I saw Avengers on Thursday or whatever. Should I not even comment in that? Because now I'm confused on what can be seen and what can't be
let
seen.
me piggyback on that.
It's a
That was
spoiler.
those damn comic book guys.
Yeah.
And I liked them. Actually, they let me admin too. I don't know why they would do that.
Yeah,
But,
I don't know why they haven't kicked you out
But
by
yeah,
now.
I didn't like that thread because it literally went up Thursday or Friday of the in-game weekend, and I was like, "Come on now! Not everybody can go to a midnight showing or 2 a.m. showing on Thursday night."
Yes.
I got tagged in it. I immediately
I saw you
untagged,
got see
and I was like, "Come! I'm seeing it on Sunday,
That's a
opening
violation.
weekend."
Yeah, tagging someone is a violation now. I was just like, I was reading through stuff or whatever, and now I'm like, well, if I wanted to comment on that, now I'm fucking paranoid if somebody else is going to see some shit.
Oh,
and be
yeah,
like, oh yeah, Stitch commented and said, oh, did you see whatever?
Yeah. I completely muted that thread for myself.
Because now I'm confused. Like, if I even like something that somebody says, does that show? Oh, you replied to that, and you can see.
If it's hentai, it's okay.
So what usually happens if you're in a group and they have a group discussion, if one of your friends or someone, usually it's a friend,
yeah.
if they comment in the feed, you will see a preview and it'll be their comment. It won't be the entire thing, but at least the first sentence and a half, and you'll be able to get the gist of it from it.
That's what I've always seen. I've never seen images or whatever before. So I was like, oh, I guess images will be all right.
Recently, sometimes, like this one here, I'm showing Stitch here. This has like multiple comments and then like replies in between.
Yeah, that's why I was like,
and
I
you
ain't
can
saying
see the
no
beginning
words.
of a GIF.
Didn't say no word, but
So we're
let's go
explaining
down
Facebook to people.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Game of
we're
Thrones.
All right, so let's get to the episode.
All right, set it up.
Yeah.
Stitch, you go ahead.
Oh man,
Mr. Spoiler.
So we start off after everybody's had their round of drinks and settled in for the night and
Got they fuck on.
got their fuck on and everything. It's game time. And I forget how it essentially starts off, but everyone's getting in their positions,
lined up already.
lining up. The fucking Star Spangled Banner is played. People have taken their knee and they get ready to get up on the football field and play ball and everything. Surprise, which I didn't fucking expect. Melisandre shows up.
I called it. I called it last week.
You did call that.
Yeah, I had no idea she was gonna show up. I thought she was gone. Whatever.
I figured she was gonna come, and I knew right when she got there what she was gonna do. Because I was like, "There's folks there that ain't got no fucking dragon glass, they ain't got no flame and steel, they ain't got shit."
Yeah.
Light it up.
So she comes, gives a little pep talk to the cavalry,
Yep.
lights their swords on fire,
Flame on.
and then I won't distract from the story. We start to progress into the world's worst fucking military strategy of all fucking time. Some of their reasoning and logic behind.
Why is that, Stitch?
Well, we were just gonna throw the horses and run them into the darkness and fire one round of catapults
They had
are
light, but yeah.
How about we see what we charge it into? We put the catapults in front of the wall. It was all kinds of craziness. And then we got the big we got two F-16s sitting in the hangar, ready to take off and shit. Maybe they can light up the battlefield and flame on.
No. So I actually thought that when the actual dragons did come out, which we'll talk about in a minute, they came out way too early. Like, you never, if you have some kind of like game-changing weapon, you never use it first or anywhere near. You use it when like you're fucked or when they pull out, because they already knew that they had a dragon. They should have waited until their dragon came out for the unknown surprise.
Well, my sort of counter with that would be they knew they were vastly outnumbered.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because none of the ones on the ground could fuck with those dragons, and the dragons were the most important thing on that battlefield.
Yes, those are their A-bombs.
Yeah.
But I don't understand why they threw all their pawns or their knights, if this was a chessboard, and just charge. Like, I don't understand what did they think was the outcome in that. They knew they were vastly outnumbered.
I don't think
Jon Snow is the only one. Well, Jon Snow has fought them in masses and know that they just fucking pile up like some World War Z zombies and stuff like that. They're just trying to overswarm you with mass fucking numbers, and they're just going at them with horses.
Then they take your dead.
That's also what the Dothraki did too, though. I mean, they usually overrun them through numbers. That's probably why they went first. But if you're gonna have any cavalry, you're right. Like, you don't send the cavalry in first. You send your foot soldiers in first, and then you flank them with the cavalry.
I thought the Dothraki were really strategic with some of their horse maneuvers.
They are, but they just went in first. But they usually do it through force, like overwhelming numbers, and they have skill too.
yeah.
But,
Yeah. They're usually just relentless, like a relentless wave. But
That's why they wanted to go first.
Yeah.
but then they met
They were-
an even more overpowering
But yeah,
wave.
essentially the army just keeps repopulating out of the dead people they killed. So you know you're outnumbered. Even when the Dothraki got there, horses don't travel well overseas. I remember was one of the comments. So they were short on even numbers of horses and stuff to even begin with. So it just seemed like sort of a poor strategy. Yeah, it was cool to see that their swords are on fire and stuff, but
Yeah, you should.
essentially, I mean, it didn't really help. It didn't do shit.
The person who was leading the Dothraki was Ser Jorah, which I was like, well, he's gonna fuck. I figured he was gonna fucking die anyway. But he went in with the Dothraki. The cool thing was, which we were gonna get into at some point, was everybody was complaining about how dark it was for this episode. So I have a good TV because I just bought a new fucking Vizio TV. I saw that shit just fine. I even put it in like vivid mode. I didn't turn up anything, and I saw it just fine. But if you had some fucking old school caveman TV, I can see how it'd be a problem. you would have had to turn up the brightness by like a lot.
Was it darker for you in the cloud scenes were the worst to me.
It was dark, but I could still see everything because it comes with a local dimming and it's a QLED. So
What about for you guys?
We watched it in I watched it in very, very low light, so I was able to see mostly everything. There were certain scenes that were like darker than most, but it wasn't to where I was like, I can't see what's going on.
This is where just happened to be during the time of day, the way the lights come in through my blinds, it just angles. So I was like, I can't watch it here. So normally times we watch it in our bedroom, but we were like doing laundry, so we're like, oh, we'll just watch it here. And I was like, I can't do it. I can just the reflection from the sun. And then when I even watched it
throw
in the
shit over your
bedroom,
fucking do it old school.
Lilo did that, but I was
yeah.
she started hanging up towels. I was like,
Right
we
there.
are not,
Yeah.
we are not ghetto. Or whatever. So let's just go watch it there. And it was still a little bit kind of dark to see, but I mean, I could see what was going on, but I could see how a lot of people had problems with it. And I heard if you were streaming it, there was some issues in terms of maybe some technical. If you tried to watch it on your phone or a tablet or something, it might have been a little bit even rougher.
Well, I was streaming it too. So the problem is like, well, because I mean, I was watching it through HBO Now, which is technically I'm streaming it, but I don't have cable.
I guess me streaming through like a smart device.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. But
okay.
it's still the same deal. Like you'll have a lot of artifacting, which is probably what people are complaining about.
Okay.
So if you have like any kind of device that doesn't do well with blacks, especially if it's a digital device, you have artifacting and like basically you'll see like a lot of squares and fucked up shit and like fucked up grays.
Yeah.
As you're watching something that's that black, but my TV handled it pretty well, and it wasn't even at the highest settings. So
Yeah, but I just will say though, you got a brand new one. I think
Yeah.
a lot of people had trouble.
What?
We can't downplay that.
that's why I was like warning people like before they even watch. I was like, you might want to turn your brightness up if you're gonna watch this.
Yeah, but
Or because actually Aiden, he bought a new fucking. Because I was talking to him about it because he said he couldn't see hardly anything. I was like, it's time to buy a new TV.
yeah.
And so he bought a new TV like the
Well,
next day.
I mean, but it's kind of weird to like for the other Game of Thrones episodes didn't really have these issues either.
Well, no, but
Blackwater
it's also,
didn't.
The thing was though is that the guys that directed this episode, they used natural light throughout most of the episodes. So it was all like by firelight or something else.
Yeah.
They didn't use a lot of like actual lights.
Yep.
And it works. It looks awesome if you have like a new TV in 4K HDR. Looks fucking excellent. But if you have like an older TV that doesn't have really good brightness, shit like that, or anything less than 1080p TV, it's not gonna look good.
That's got to be a substantial portion of the viewers, though, too.
Yeah, it sucks, but I mean, it's just you gotta turn the brightness up. I think most people, they should have just, once they saw it was dark, they should have paused their TVs and turned the brightness up.
Well, I originally thought that this battle was going to take place like at the beginning of morning or whatever, because based on where they said,
they
like,
said
oh, they'll be
that.
here by morning. So in my head, I was
He's
like, okay.
called the Night King.
Yeah,
They,
but
Why the
they,
fuck
they,
would he-
the-
but they
they-
literally said that. in the
They're
last
like, he'll be
episode,
here in the morning. So I was like, okay,
But
cool.
he's the Night King. I'm just saying. Not like a bitch though, but he's the Night King.
though. Yeah.
Damn.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
I thought morning too.
Yeah, because I was like, okay, they're not gonna use shadows to hide it because when they fought I can't think of the one battle when he
Yeah,
when-
yeah, like when
that
they
wasn't
got
at
the dragon.
night. That
Yeah.
was when they took over the whatever when he did the fucking respawn
Yeah,
or whatever.
that was great.
We're gonna talk about that. But yeah, so past the whole darkness thing.
But it's way more terrifying at night. Well, like, because you can't see that many numbers. I think that's what they were trying to go for, is that you couldn't see, the people on the ground couldn't see what was going on. Because, like, once the horde came in, you couldn't see, like, how many there were.
Because
Exactly.
I was
I
like,
like that.
how does the horde even? I mean, how do the cavalry even know where they're heading at with?
They knew
just-
they were that way, where the darkness was.
Yeah, they just seem and just keep launching those motherfucking flaming rocks. And shit.
Yeah.
Keep the distance.
My issue was that moat was pretty fucking thin, or not moat.
The trench.
The trench.
Yeah. Well, they were.
That was a shallow ass trench.
They had time constraints and people restraints because
I
they.
hear you.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
sent small dude to go get his people. And he got pinned up on the wall like a pinata.
Prodigy, let me ask you this. Have you ever dug a trench before?
Yeah, no, I know digging
Hold on.
takes a
Have
while.
you dug a trench when it's frozen?
It's a very hard thing. I get you on
It's
that.
hard as fuck.
All I'm trying to say though is, even with that being the case,
Yeah.
that trench was way too shallow. Obviously, I mean, it was
They
it was
could,
a span.
yeah.
It was like less than this table.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you gonna have something, you know.
They had to dig the trench, then they had to fucking cut the logs, sharpen the logs,
Sure.
tie the logs.
And it wasn't even just like they had to put dragon glass
They big-
on the log.
I
That
hear
made
you.
it even
mine the
more
I hear
dragon
you.
glass,
Yeah.
create the web. Like they
Well,
were fucking.
It was less than one body length. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like
Laid
if
down.
you're playing like Sim Earth or whatever, and you gotta fucking build all this shit all the time constraint, you're like, fuck, I need more resources and shit. So I wasn't too mad about that. I mean, when but that's later on in the battle. So
All right, go ahead.
first wave goes out there, and Ghost even goes out there too. But,
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, what happened
Yeah.
to Ghost? Actually,
probably
Sony,
does.
I've heard that
think
you could
he's
see him
back.
in the trailer for the next one, so that
Okay.
made me happy. But
What was weird was like, why was he with Jorah, not with Jon Snow? That was
no
really
idea.
odd.
I don't know.
I mean, it can't be on the dragon.
Well, yeah, but I mean, with Jorah though, he don't got no fucking.
I don't know.
know that
Yeah,
dude.
I was like,
He ain't
yo,
gonna be with Dion
what
either.
the fuck is Ghost
maybe-
gonna do?
Maybe hang out with Bran. I mean,
Yeah, it could have
somebody
been.
in the
Should have been
family,
with Bronn.
somebody
Or
that
Bran.
has a dire wolf.
Yeah, put Ghost in the
But,
in the
but
crypt.
Bran is like he's the three-eyed raven.
Yeah.
I mean, like he's telling people he's not really Bran anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
one I used to be.
He's a
Bran.
personal security system, not
Yeah.
a fucking weapon of mass destruction.
All right.
He ain't no fucking dragon. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was really cool visually to see all like the flaming swords go, and
Yeah,
then
that
all
was
of a
a
sudden
nice scene.
woof, woof,
Get
just
extinguished.
slowly get extinguished. You're like, oh shit, it's bad. And Dany starts to realize we got problems or whatever, because that's her first. No, she's seen them before. Yeah.
Yeah, she fought him.
Yeah. So then essentially, what happens next? Did they get closer to the line, or they
They
line up
retreated, and Grey Worm pissed
Grey-
himself.
Grey Worm and the
It's Sam.
Yeah.
Sam was pissing himself the whole
Oh,
thing.
God,
Yeah, yeah.
Jorah was good. He was like, I'm gonna do my job.
Yeah.
He wasn't
They
happy
get,
about it,
Get the
but-
formation and some 300 stuff.
He put a Beyonce in
Yeah.
the formation.
And they fucking they still hit him with that blitz, and they fucking they fucked up that front line pretty bad.
They did
And
a good job
Yep.
though, holding the line.
They did a good job,
Yeah.
but they were just like, it was a swarm of them. They
Yeah.
were just over, and I was like, immediately 5 minutes into the battle, I was like, they are fucked.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
Brienne's like damn near covered to her neck and fucking
Yep.
people. I was like, I'm like, we are 5 minutes into this battle and they're already up shit's creek or whatever. I'm like, we got an hour and a half. I was like, I don't know what how they're gonna get through this. And they were getting pretty fucked up when that whole thing was going on. Then the F-14s take flight.
Yes, they do.
Which
Start-
is way too early. Way too early. Because he was waiting for him.
Oh yeah. He
Well,
knew.
Yeah.
And you knew he had that dragon too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I just figured keep the distance. The only thing you got is distance, because that once those they get that blanket of people on them, they're fucked, because they're just gonna zombie and pile on top of each other like how they were going over the wall. I mean, the trench idea was good. They had time to build more trenches or deeper trenches. It was pretty effective. I have issues with Danny getting distracted. Again, you had one job, fucking light the trench, and you fucking playing
She
Star
couldn't-
Fox up in the
She
sky.
she couldn't see.
see.
The Night
fog.
King. The Night
They
King
need to have a backup
brought-
plan.
The Night King. They didn't expect that fucking storm to come. He literally brought winter with him.
What was her job?
She couldn't see. If you can't see, you can't see.
What was your job though?
Oh my god.
No excuse.
Yeah,
You ever
if
been
you
in a
can't
whiteout?
see.
If my
Yeah.
job is to get home before dark and I can't see, I know I need to get fucking home.
Yeah, but you don't know how, but if you know how to get home. If like you've ever been in like a sandstorm, which I've been in many of them, or a whiteout, like you can't tell fucking east from west.
Yeah.
Like you're just like, I don't know where the fuck anything is.
And from her,
well, you do know where the ground is.
you know where the
Well,
ground is.
But that's it. That's just down.
yeah.
Like you can't see anything around you though.
Yeah.
Not to mention when Davos set the signal, they were waiting for it. So you're not gonna expect the signal. You're gonna expect the signal only if they're in trouble. From her point
They
of view,
needed
they're not in
contingencies.
trouble.
Hold on, Prodigy. If you're flying, you don't know where the ground is either. If you're in a
Wait, for-
whiteout,
Oh yeah, if you're in a whiteout.
you don't know where the ground is.
Oh, okay.
Like you're flying through the air and you're just like, I don't know where the fuck anything's at.
Or you can let the dragon
So you
guide
have
you.
to.
I mean, the dragon is guiding.
But the dragon doesn't know either. Like you have to just basically go at a really conservative decline.
I feel like if you're gliding, gravity is going to tell you where the ground is.
What's gonna tell you
you
that
hit
it's
it.
down? Yeah, but if you fucking just dive bomb, you're gonna fucking die.
I mean, I'm not saying completely dive bomb
Well, that's
forever.
what I'm saying. You have to
but-
like do like a super gradual
Yeah.
decline.
You can
That way you know where down is. That's all I'm saying.
You can decline and torch the ground. That way you know your altitude.
But you can torch your own people.
Yeah,
so that's
you
not
can,
smart either.
yeah, that's why you don't do that.
So, or torch the whole fucking castle.
But I will say this. It seemed like she had more trouble than John, and John's done this twice.
I didn't get the
On a fucking
impression.
dragon.
I didn't get that. Well, John learned last week how to fucking.
That's what I'm saying. Like, she had more trouble than him, it seemed like.
I don't
I
think
don't
they were
think
in
so at all.
charge. They didn't seem like they were. The dragons would just seem like we got this. And we just doing whatever. They were just along for the ride. I had no fucking impression that she was pulling on the fucking yoke.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
pulling on this.
Nope.
She was just holding on to fucking an antler or whatever. Just taking the ride. and shit.
Scale.
Yeah. I had issues with the dragon fight. It reminded me of some Transformers shit, where I was confused on what actually was happening until I was like, which dragon is what now? And until I saw like some blue coming out of the one's neck, I was like, okay, that's that dragon. It looks like it's biting. It was just like real close up shaky cam CGI stuff, and I had a lot of issues with
Which dragon was who?
interpreting how the fight was going through the air and stuff. I was
I
like,
would agree with that.
I was like, where's the Night King is at? I was like, oh, who just hit who? Okay, what dragon got bit?
Oh, I could tell because like only because the Night King's dragon looked different from the other ones. He was like it was grayer.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
on my TV, it was like super easy to tell.
Yeah, it all kind of blended.
Because
a
then
little
I was like, all right, one of the dragons got knocked to the ground. I was like, what just happened? I had to rewind. I was like, which one got knocked to the ground? I was like, okay, so it's injured. I guess it's not out of the fight or whatever. Because I saw the one dragon get its neck bit, but then all of
Yeah.
a sudden, John's dragon goes to the ground. I was like, I was like, I missed something. I was like, I gotta go back and rewatch that shit. In the castle, they put the people in the crypt.
Yep.
Um,
Well, the kids and
kids.
Women and kids.
The people that
and the
couldn't
weak
fight.
people that
Yeah.
couldn't fight or whatever. Lady Mormont, God rest her soul, she went out like a G.
That she did.
She got squeezed like some fresh squeezed orange juice.
I
So
had forgotten about the giant.
Oh,
no, I had forgotten all about
I
it.
was waiting for the giant. I'm like, are they going to use the giant? And right when I was thinking it, boom, right through the
Bust
fucking
through.
door. I was like, oh, there's a giant. And he
Yeah.
went for the smallest person there. He knocked her the fuck out
Yeah.
the way. He's all out of the way, Peck.
Well, that was after because they do end up
It's a
lighting
willow
the
joke,
trench.
not a
Melisandre having a little bit of trouble sparking the flame and shit, saying a prayer, and it's not working. And she finally gets the trench lighted up, which it was really cool also to see how the Unsullied worked as a unit.
Oh, yeah,
in
like
terms of
when
like the
they
retreating
retreated.
and everything, and
Well-trained.
them collapsing the bridge and stuff. It was really cool to see. They light the trench, and it was like, all right, pause. So everyone just is hanging out like it's halftime, and I was like, keep shooting these motherfuckers. I was like, it's not like it reminded me of some Revolutionary War where it's like, okay, everyone's standing still before we get the drummers to say, all right, ready, aim, fire. Like, no, they're
Get your musket.
get back to some guerrilla warfare. These guys, there's no etiquette going on right now.
They're dead.
Yeah, this dude can just respawn people or whatever. Fire your fucking flames or stab them across when you see them like start to slowly walk into the flame and try. I was like, oh shit, that's bad. I was like, fire down, keep it lit, and I mean, take out that
Also
front
cold
line.
as fuck.
Yeah. Or have the dragon do another pass and run and everyone's lined up chilling on the fucking 50-yard line again. Light those motherfuckers on fire while they're all standing still just waiting for instructions or whatever. Attack. So I had some issues with that. Then they did the pretty cool thing about it reminded me of some like what was it? Dumb show. Walking Dead. In terms of like how the zombies were kind of okay, they adapted, and then they started to pile up their way up the wall. And I was like, all right, stab down on these motherfuckers, which they tried to do, but eventually they got
There's a lot of them.
overrun.
because numbers were just fucking crazy. We see Arya go into fucking like Deadpool mode.
Oh yeah, she fucked like a lot of them up by
Yes.
herself. I was like, God damn, she got down.
Yeah.
I liked her in the cave a lot.
Oh, that was the Resident Evil moment.
I had some
That was
issues with
dope.
that.
It was Resident Evil. It was Resident Evil and Dark Souls kind of all combined because it was like zombies.
Yeah, Splinter
It sure
Cell.
was.
Yeah, but yeah, I love that.
That was dope. I was like, it was a nice change of pace from that all go, go, go.
Well, it didn't make sense to me because I was like, these things are just sort of running around kind of mad crazy. Now they're kind of stealthily walking.
No, because
They can
we've seen this before. We've seen John beyond the wall kind of navigate around them, and when they notice them, because they had line of sight. They don't have line of sight, they basically lose you.
Oh, sorry. When she had her fucking staff, that's what that was.
Yeah,
for
when she
me,
had her
that
staff,
the
she was
shit.
fucking shit
Yeah.
up. And then when she got her head bumped, then she realized, oh shit, I'm not invincible. They can eat me or fuck me up. Let me fall back.
They can hear a drop of her blood hit the ground, but they can't hear her like vaulting over tables.
She's
and
an
shit.
assassin.
Yeah, she's an assassin.
Ninja Arya, bro.
Yeah,
So
bro.
you had no problem with her changing faces, but her walking quietly, you got a problem with?
If these things are crazy sensitive with fucking blood, a drop of blood,
But she's basically a magical bitch. I mean, she could change her face. Look whoever she
then
wants to look
why
like.
does her blood make sound then?
Because it's blood.
I mean, her
There's dragons in this show.
her footsteps she can control. The blood hitting the ground, she can't control the way that sounds. She should have put her hand underneath so that she'd catch it and dampen it, but she didn't do that. But she still got out of it. Because when they went looking for her, she was gone.
And then the Hound's got his
PTSD.
got scared.
yeah, fucking fire. I
He
forgot
still
about
don't do
that
well
shit.
with fire. He like Venom.
Yeah. Then
The
Clegan with
Clegane is the Hound, but then there's
no,
the
yeah.
Barrack. He's the
Barrack,
18th century
yeah.
Jedi.
he caught that loss. And that was after what was it? Ed the first guy got killed.
Oh,
Saved their lives like fucking 3 or 4 times. I was like, God
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah, I was confused. I was like,
Yeah.
he just stood up and then he made it through the door again. I was
Yeah,
like,
fuck.
yeah,
It's
that kind
like-
of threw me off.
He
a
was
little
like,
bit.
God's got my back.
Yeah.
Basically. I mean,
Yeah.
he really did.
He took all kind of stabs. He literally like blocked the hallway and let them all stab him up, and he still kept crawling.
Yes.
I was like, God dang.
Yeah, she gets sort of concussed and kind of comes out of her assassin mode, her berserker rage, and everything. I think she lost her magic staff, her Donatello bow.
But that shit was badass. She was fucking shit up.
So
She might have had the most kills of
Yeah.
anybody.
If they were counting
Maybe.
like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, she might have
she
the
had a
most.
nice body count.
Yeah, because she was just like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, peace him out.
Yeah. Actually, a few of them. Even John was cutting some down. Barrack, the dude with the old school fucking lightsaber, he was cutting a few down.
Yeah, they were all putting in work.
Except for Clegane. except for the Hound.
Except for
eventually.
Sam. Sam was the one.
Actually, Sam got kills too.
He got kills, not as
Yeah,
many.
but he was scared as fuck.
He was on the ground
initially.
stabbing, but
Yeah, I mean, he's still putting in work.
I thought Sam was gonna go into what's it called, that Saving Private Ryan moment,
but
and he's gonna hide in the corner or
Mm-hmm.
put some dead bodies on top of him, just fucking take a nap. Or
Got
something.
close for him.
Yeah, I got close for Jamie too.
Yeah.
Jamie is on the wall. He got overpowered, and then Brianna Tarth came in with that assist out of nowhere, cut them all off of him, and then those two were like pretty much back to back, cutting
Three,
him
I
up.
think it was 3 of them that were there.
There
right?
was a third. I don't remember who the third one was though. Somebody
I
else
think
was
it
there.
was.
It wasn't Gendry.
Podrick.
I thought it was.
Oh,
Gendry.
maybe it was Podrick.
Oh,
Might have been
could've
Podrick.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd make more sense.
And then I have issues with fucking Bran. Not Bran. Yeah. Bran.
Yeah, it's
Bran.
Three-eyed?
He goes. He goes into fucking. He's like, I'll be back. He rolls his eyes and he goes in the bird's eye view from the press box.
Yep.
And this does what?
So I have a feeling that him doing that might go into the next episode.
I hope so.
Like he's probably looking at something because like he was looking at Ravens following the Night King for a while, but then they kind of went away. But I'm pretty sure what he was looking at has to do with like the next episode
I'm hoping.
Yeah.
I really hope.
because that was a hole for me too.
That was weird.
I was like, you
I mean, he can't fight anyway, so
Yeah.
can't fight, but at least relay some information.
I know,
He-
right?
He coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do recon.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of confused about. Theon does his
Theon
has his moment.
I give him some props. I mean, I've had my issues with him, but he tried to do what he could.
I gotta say, Theon is. I keep saying he's like probably one of the best characters of all time.
Wow.
Seriously, like think about
His
how
character arc. Like we talked
his
about it
character
last
arc is
week.
fucking
Yeah.
awesome. He went from a good guy to a fucking bad guy to
Yeah.
his up and come, gets his fucking dick chopped off,
Yeah.
and now he's like on the path to redemption.
And
He's
Bran
basically
even said it. He's like,
redeemed
everything you've
himself.
done has brought you back.
Brought you to this
I mean, I'm not
Yeah,
hating
but
on him.
you
I still got Jamie over him, though,
Yeah.
in terms of that arc.
Ah, but his dick got cut off. I'm just saying, and he's
Yeah.
still trying to do the right thing.
He was.
Jamie pushed kids. He tried to
Yeah.
kill a kid in the first episode.
Yeah, but he hunted those same kids.
Yeah. And they thought he burnt.
Wait, he
didn't
hunted the kid.
He burned.
Yeah, he hunted Bran and fucking the brother.
Yeah.
You talking about Jamie?
No,
No,
Theon.
Theon did.
Theon hunted
Yeah,
Bran,
hunted him down.
Bran
I'm
and
so-
Rickon.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
And
for
then he
me,
lied about it.
Jamie's trying to kill kids, literally first episode, and fucking his sister, and doing some.
He did treason on his family that brought him up.
I know.
Completely fucked up the entire family.
Well, it was treason, but it was everybody seemed to leave this shit out. Everybody talked to. It was the Mad King that did some mad shit.
Yeah.
Yes.
The guy had to go.
Yeah, and he was the one who.
No, I'm talking about Theon with the treason.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
That
Theon
too?
with the
Yeah.
treason in terms of like betraying his whole
Let's just
family.
say this: they
and
both
thinking-
have good arcs. You can like who you like.
Yeah.
We-
But
we
Theon,
can
I
all
mean,
like
Theon had a tragic end.
yeah.
I mean,
he was brave.
He was. I
Is he-
mean-
I don't know if he's really dead though, because technically at the end of the episode, he was still alive. Technically,
Oh,
he was still alive.
I guess.
Oh, okay. So just
really
shallow
was.
breathing, basically. Last
Yeah,
couple
technically he's
gasps
still alive.
of air,
Yeah.
maybe.
Maybe.
There's
I mean,
very
but
few people that can survive, that can revive him at this point, because the redheaded chick is gone.
Which
yeah,
is
she
gone.
gone.
So
Yeah.
you know what I thought was gonna happen?
What?
I thought that Gendry was gonna fuck the redheaded chick, and she was gonna birth another fucking smoke monster.
Oh,
and that's what was gonna save him.
That
But-
was
That
a
was-
great scene from whatever season that was.
Because you see a lot of, and especially with Melisandre, her and like Arya make eye contact, and I couldn't remember what the fuck conversation they had
This is,
last. It's
so
been
this is someone brought
years.
this up. This is years ago.
Yeah.
This is when Arya met Gendry
Yeah.
in that little pub or whatever. It was Gendry, her, and there was like the big kid, the kid that was like
Hog
kind
pie.
of chubby,
Yeah.
and they make an exchange, and she gives her the prophecy, and she tells her we will meet again.
Yeah, I mean, looking back at people pointing it out, yeah, oh yeah, I do remember that. But
Someone
at the time
posted
when I
the
watched an
scene
episode, I
again,
was just
yeah.
like
4 or 5 years
I
ago.
forgot.
Yeah.
I actually thought that she was that guy, the many-faced god guy.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
okay.
the
Because
assassin.
because she even alludes to it, because she says Varo Morghulis to Grey
Sure,
Worm, and
yeah.
I was like, is that
She was
him?
dropping a lot of like
Yeah,
quotes where it's like, how do you know about that?
yeah.
But she's always been a mysterious kind of character. with
Yeah.
a whole bunch of
So at
insight.
first I was like, oh shit, she knew that they fucked or whatever, and I thought it was like some jealousy kind of thing. 'Cause she knew that her man was with could smell the pussy or whatever, still on his dick, and then essentially they have a nice little. She gives him a nice halftime speech. Says, "You got green eyes, kill brown eyes, blue eyes."
that was kind of cool.
And I was like, okay. And she kind of has this light bulb moment, and she runs off or whatever. I was like, okay, cool. She's about to go do some crazy shit. In the meantime, I put that fucking funny thing. You obviously didn't see it because I was on block mode. But about Daenerys parking her sports car at the 7-Eleven with the keys in it with a laptop in the front seat. I'm gonna take my big ass flying ass F-16 and I'm just gonna park it and I'll be right back. Let me go into the 7-Eleven buy some cigarettes. Yeah. Next thing you know, fucking the fire ants are stabbing the fucking dragon and climbing on top of it, and dragon's fucking in pain and shit like that.
This is after what's his name, dragon? Jon Snow's dragon got fucked up.
Yeah, Jon Snow's dragon gets whatever has his engine problems. Crash lands
after the dragon fight with the blue dragon.
Yeah.
And they both fucked each other up. But
but they managed to knock the Night King to the ground because they knocked him off his dragon as well.
Well, but it seems to me he was perfectly fine, and that was all part of his plan.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Part of it, it didn't phase him. That's for sure.
Well, after he got to the ground, that's where shit kind of got real.
Yeah,
real fucked up. So he gets knocked to the ground. He's walking towards Winterfell, and then Jon Snow's on the ground too. He's trying to, because his dragon's fucked up as well. So his dragon's like flying off, doing whatever the fuck, because that's what dragons do. So he's trying to catch up to the Night King and basically assassinate him. And the Night King turns around.
Have their one-on-one battle again.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is going to be good.
There's no one-on-one battle. The Night
He
King
was
turns
like,
around, raises his arms, and all of a sudden the dead rise.
Dude.
Yep.
All the dead. And then everybody in the crypt, every dead person in the fucking crypt,
coming out.
Yeah, they all start reviving too. And I was like, well, everybody's fucking dead. Everybody in the crypt is dead.
This fucking thriller.
I was, I was yelling at my TV. Once he looked, I was like, oh, this is going to be good. And he puts his hand. I was like, oh no. I was like, run. And he just starts doing it. Jon Snow's like, oh fuck, I know this is bad.
Yeah.
I just kept running. Fuck it.
Yeah,
He was running,
he did, but they closed the gap.
Yeah.
And then when he realized, because he was like literally a sword throw away.
Shit.
I was
Hold
like,
on.
oh, he'll get there. He'll get there. This is good.
If he was black and had those extra tendons.
He's wearing that heavy ass coat.
Yeah.
Use that Speed Force.
We didn't cover like when he got to the ground. Daenerys saw him from her dragon Drogon, and they were like, "Oh, this is where the plan comes together. Let's get him with this dragon fire." And they lit up this whole spot. And then once it clears out, Night King comes out and he smirks. He's like, "Miss that tickle."
He's like, "That's all you got." Yeah.
Yeah, and then he keeps walking.
That was
like,
meme worthy too. He had that troll face. I was like, "Oh, that's gonna be
Yeah,
all over." He was like, "Yeah,
yeah.
You thought that would work?"
Yeah, nope. He's all nope.
He
And
still
he
ain't
then
said a
pulled
word.
out that harpoon. I was like, "Oh shit, here we go again." I was like, "You better barrel roll."
That's what he did. That's what knocked her to the ground.
Yeah.
He a fucking Olympian with that fucking spear.
Yeah,
man.
dude.
Yeah. I was like, he don't miss. Yeah.
So Night King's on the march.
All right.
Yeah. So then all the respawn happens. I didn't even realize it till like afterwards that those were people coming out from the crypt or whatever.
Oh yeah, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah,
I was thinking that they dug into the ground.
But it didn't make sense. I'm like, there's no way, even if you're undead, that you could dig to the ground that goddamn fast into a fucking crypt.
Yeah. Frozen.
Yeah.
But then I was like, oh, they breaking out. God dang.
Ain't nowhere safe.
Yeah. So then it's essentially and I was like, they're fucked again. Or whether I was like, this is where we're gonna see some people actually die.
Yep.
But no, they were able to sort of fight them off with the swords. Daenerys parks her dragon. Dragon gets overrun. Now she's fucking by herself.
Yeah.
She wields a sword pretty decently for somebody who I don't recall ever seeing.
Well,
Jorah saves her first, and then she gets the sword.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not to mention the dragon is shaking its ants off of itself, dropping them across the field.
Yeah.
So we follow Jon Snow as zombie bodies are dropping behind him. They're getting up and trying to give chase.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's like, I'm like, dude, Jon is even in a worse condition versus going after the Night King by himself.
So then Jorah comes in, Captain Save-A-Ho, trying to get in however he can, and eventually saves Daenerys, but dies in the process. So we got another death on our hands. And
He went out like he wanted to, though.
yeah,
He did.
No, he didn't. He wanted to go out fucking.
Well, okay.
Fucking
That's true.
Daenerys. I'm just saying.
Did want that ass.
and they do a really good job, cinematography-wise or whatever.
Sure.
In terms of like showing how all these people are in just some shitty-ass situations around the fucking battlefield. Jon Snow is pinned down with fucking zombie dragon. he tries to get up to change cover. Dragon's like, nope, you ain't going nowhere, and flames him down, and he's stuck in cover, and everyone's just sort of fucked up. Meanwhile, Theon is down to his last arrow.
Yeah.
I
mean, we already knew he was going to be out because there's way more of them than there are arrows.
Yeah.
But so in this,
Nice.
he's like the second person to charge the Night King.
Yeah. Night King squads up with his lieutenants, and they doing that boss walk like Nas and Belly.
Oh, damn.
They walking through the club. We're like,
Yeah.
yeah, where's my bottle servers? Where's my VIP? And Theon knows it's whatever. And then Bran comes back from whatever the fuck he's doing, taking his nap. He's like, oh, okay. You were a good man, or whatever. And he goes and charges him with the spear. He parries and steps out the way, breaks the spear, and fucking impales him. He's like, all right,
Visceral
bitch.
attack.
Yeah. Then he goes and makes his slow Bond villain walk to Bran in the wheelchair and everything, and gets up to him and stuff. Then does the slow grabbing of the sword and everything. And we see Bran sort of break eye contact and look at something. I was like, ooh, what's going to happen? And I think you see like someone's hair move or something, or they look at the lieutenants and lieutenants
one of
kind
the
of
lieutenants
looks
looks off to the side real quick, but he it looks dismissive, but then
yeah, which I wish they had explained that better. I mean, I wish they had handled that scene. They could have done so much more with that scene. And Arya does the fucking flying Superman.
she does a Jordan Air Aria.
Yeah, and tries to stab him. He turns around and with the Undertaker choke slam, grabs her, and then she fucking does the knife drop into the other hand, which is they sort of kind of teased it with the move that she practiced with Brienne. It wasn't exact, but you could see her knife game is on.
She's been working on
it. And I saw like something on Twitter, like they broke down her like 7-year school that she's been to. It was like season 1, sword fighting 101, season 2, archery, season 3 at the house mini or whatever, the black and white house.
That was another thing is that they alluded to. I kind of watched the episode again, but as I was watching it, the Melisandre, the redheaded chick,
Melisandre, yeah, sure.
She was talking about stuff that only her first sword teacher was. So that's why I'm like, that's the many-faced guy, because she's been, or that person has been throughout her life.
What do we say? The
She just
Lord
didn't know it.
a death or whatever.
But she's been doing that though, because when she first meets Jon Snow, she tells him, "You know nothing, Jon Snow," and the only person that tells him that is Ygritte. And so when she says that to him, because Ygritte is dead at that time, Jon knows something's up with this.
Yeah, but the fact that she said, you know, Valar Morghulis to Grey Worm, that has nothing to do with Arya. So that's why I think that is.
She's a mystical bitch.
Yeah, she's been all over. I mean, she brought back Jon Snow.
I think she can see the future. She just sucks at interpreting some shit.
Possibly.
Because, I mean, she supposedly had all these prophecies and all kinds of shit, and she would sometimes be half right on some shit.
Yeah, sometimes dead ass wrong.
And sometimes do some dumbass dead wrong shit or whatever. Be like, I don't know what happened.
Let me burn this child and see what happens.
Oh, I forgot about that.
So she does the fucking move or whatever, impales them, and then fucking boom, 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 boom. Just chain reaction of all kinds of shit going on. All the lieutenants breaking the glass. Jon's about to get snacked on by the dragon. Dragon falls down and all kinds of shit. And Arya becomes fucking queen bitch.
MVP.
So you know what's crazy? So Cameron had actually a really good theory about Jon, how he might be immune to both fire and ice, because that was actually the name of one of the books is The Song of Fire and Ice, and I think it's about Jon because he's both he's both a Stark and a Targaryen, so somebody that is used to the winter, but somebody that's also immune to fire.
I saw something like that, and then somebody put like a clip of him getting burned by something, and he was like freaking out. But I don't know if it was just like a sort of plot hole kind of whatever. But
it's a good theory. Arya fucking I'm down with her being MVP. We talked about it last week a whole lot in terms of who we wanted to kill.
I figured that Prodigy was going to be slowly crying about his boy the Night King getting ended, and I was like, ah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the fucking Night King. He was a great fucking villain, but at the same time, you knew he wasn't going to completely win, you know, and kill everybody.
Yeah.
But I like Arya's arc, you know, in terms of watching her father get beheaded and then all of a sudden becoming this ninja Batman assassin and eventually saving the entire world,
Yeah,
basically.
pretty much.
I gotta be honest though. I mean, this episode it was good, but I wanted more people that were important to die.
Yes.
We
Like,
still
a
got more
lot
episodes.
I know.
Yeah. And I sort of think that because the show, I think about like maybe 2 seasons ago, the show passed the books in terms of what's going on. I think that there's sort of, they don't have the darkness that, was it Martin?
George R. R. Martin.
Yeah, George R. R. Martin had when he was writing it just off his brain, where nobody was safe. It seems like they've gotten a little bit conservative in terms of like who dies and sort of playing it safe. Because I think the book ends, or it almost ends right when Snow gets killed the first time, or it's like just right after
Well,
that.
I read from a bunch of different sources that this season would have scenes that were worse than the Red Wedding, and I was just like, well, this
We'll
one
see.
definitely was not that.
No.
So I mean, there's three
Well, yeah, we'll see.
left, but I don't see how Cersei's gonna have anything close to Red Wedding. But
Yeah.
I don't know. We can see. I mean,
There's some people that should have, like, I think that especially with Brienne, like her arc as a character is pretty complete. We know she's not going to sit on the throne.
No.
We assume she's not going to marry fucking Jamie.
she needs to marry Tormund. That's what she needs to do.
I mean, I would
Make
both
some
of those
giant babies.
characters. It's
Yeah.
like we have what 3-4 episodes left.
I think
Somewhere,
3.
yeah.
It's
Just
like
3.
yeah, what we don't need
Where do you
any
go?
more screen time with them. I would have been. I mean, yeah, it would have sucked to see them die and everything like that. But it would have been expected for me. Even same thing with Grey Worm. It would have sucked to see him die
Yeah.
and him to fucking go up to Canada with no slavery and shit and racism. But I was like, he ain't making it. But I would have been emotional. I would have been like, fuck, that sucked. He didn't make it. But essentially, no one I really cared about died.
yeah. No one really. Who the fuck died in this that was important?
No.
Jorah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
Jorah,
I
Theon,
figured he was gonna die
and
anyway.
Lady
Oh,
Mormont.
Well, no, and I don't think
But
that.
we don't care about them.
Well, I don't think that Theon is dead. Lady Mormont is definitely dead.
Yeah.
So-
Theon is for certain in critical condition.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
So we'll fucking see. I'm still on board. I agree with you. Nowhere near the Red Wedding. Look, they stabbed a pregnant woman and then
Chest.
killed her.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Don't
That shit was
forget
brutal.
that.
And her mama.
Yeah, and killed the mom. Killed literally the star character. Who I mean, we all thought he was the star character in
Yeah.
Rob. You know what I mean?
Died like a bitch.
Yeah, but I mean,
Even the
that-
people in the crypt, like Sam's girlfriend.
Yeah.
She's alive.
She was the first one to run, though.
Nobody.
Everybody else was like, huh, what's going on? She took off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's obviously going to be some more big ass fucking battles. I don't think this was a bad episode by any stretch, but
No.
but it was, and I like the fact that it was longer than the other ones. But yeah, I liked the one with
like-
John taking out his sword against the big ass army, one on a
Oh,
million.
Battle of the
Yeah,
Bastards.
that was
Yeah,
bad.
Battle of the Bastards.
Was that Battle of
better.
Bastards?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Battle of the
Yeah, that
Bastards.
one. The dragon Night King with the spear for the win,
Yeah.
and Red Wedding. All three of those better than
Yeah.
this one.
And then the one where he fights when he fights the Night King the first time.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the first time we saw
when
him,
he
yeah.
when he does the respawn or whatever, and then it rolls credits or whatever. That was another battle. I was like, holy.
Oh, yeah,
shit.
because
But-
that whole village of wildlings was dead, and then he showed John, this is what I can do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Raised them up.
they still got 3 left.
Yeah.
So
they
do.
have redemption. This episode was not bad, but the way they were touting this whole season, like there better be some badass fucking battles coming up.
I think that's our last military like battle.
Yeah,
Because
I
now
think-
I think it's
no.
going to be political now in terms of like
Yeah.
Oh,
Cunning-
no.
I disagree.
because we need to see Tyrion work his little.
One more big ass battle,
Yeah,
and that'll
at
be
least one.
in King's Landing.
Yeah.
I'm
And
pretty sure.
I don't even. What
there's
are the
gonna be some
numbers? What are the
backstabbing.
army numbers now?
Yeah, because they lost a lot of
all
folk.
the inventory's fucked except for our main characters. I think we'll see Hound versus his brother.
Well,
That'll be
you still have a lot of the Unsullied are still alive,
Yeah.
and a lot of the other armies are still alive. as well.
Dothraki
You have 2
wiped out.
dragons that are still alive.
Yeah, the dragon.
You got an Air Force.
They have two planes, but we know that they have a shit ton of crossbow or scorpions, whatever the fuck they're calling those
Yeah,
big ass
yeah.
things. And
Oh.
they got the army from the Iron Bank
So
or
you
whatever.
know-
the
Yeah,
fuck.
that
you
shit's
know-
bad. I
you
think
know
the
that-
Unsullied could fuck them up.
You know what we forgot?
What?
I totally forgot about this. Cersei had someone build a dragon killer. they have that big ass harpoon from
So
I
like.
just fucking
scorpion.
said, yeah, the scorpion thing.
Is that that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what it was
Yeah,
called. Yeah.
but I think they only get one shot with it. But we may see another dragon go down at King's Landing.
Best not miss.
Yeah. So yeah, I got lucky. I thought Arya would do it or whatever. Fortunately, I got a bad prediction or whatever. But
Say it.
I think that Arya gets killed by Bronn. I think that Arya will go in and try to sneak and kill Cersei by pretending to be Jaime. Bronn will kill Jaime, imitation Jaime, and it'll actually be Arya. Fuck that shit up.
I think
Because
that-
he's on a mission to kill both of the brothers. I think he'll get successful with one of them.
See, I kind of think I'm thinking along the same lines, but I think what it'll be. Bronn tries to kill Jaime. Tyrion walks in on them, and then he accidentally kills Tyrion by accident.
Well, he wants to kill Tyrion.
No, I'd say he wants to kill Jaime because him and Tyrion have been homies. He actually likes Tyrion.
Well, Cersei bribed him to kill both.
Either one. They say either or both.
I don't think Bronn is gonna go through any of that shit.
I think he kills at least one, and I think Arya kills him.
He's been promised so much shit, and they haven't given him anything.
They've given him. They gave him a castle and a wife.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did.
No, they didn't.
They gave him a castle and a wife. He even says so much.
No.
In the very first episode, he
Why-
didn't want any of it
Why is he still in King's Landing?
because he likes fucking killing people,
Yeah,
and he
no.
likes whores.
Because he always says he wants to stop doing this and get his castle and his whores.
And
in
they
his
gave him
castle.
that.
No,
he
I don't-
didn't want that.
I don't think they gave it to him. I really don't think they
I
did.
don't know. He was fucking when we last saw him.
Because he would have just left. There's no reason for him to be in King's Landing anymore if they just gave him that
Where's he
shit.
from? Where's he supposed to even go?
I
I
forgot.
don't even know.
But that's what he's waiting for is to have his castle and his land.
I'm pretty sure they gave it to him, and it was someone else. It was he. They married him to a woman that he didn't find attractive, and they were like, "Well, we made you a lord," and he's like, "Well, I didn't want all that." So this is right before they went. Jamie went to Dorne.
I gotta rewatch the shit then maybe. So
Okay.
So when they right before they
vaguely
went to
remember
Dorne,
something like that.
they gave him a wife he didn't give a shit about. They even told us again on the first episode of this season, right before they told him.
was it a Dorne chick or somebody in like?
No, it was someone from like
King's Landing.
No, it was someone from some shitty ass fucking land, and they killed their top leaders.
Oh,
they
he-
left the daughter, and they
Okay,
gave that
he,
to
He
him.
didn't get what he wanted then.
He didn't get it. I mean, he did, but not the way he wanted it.
Mm.
So
All right.
We gonna see.
So we're gonna wrap up Game of Thrones.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's get to goddamn Endgame.
Yes.
All right. So before we start talking about it, I gotta talk about what happened to me when I tried to go watch Endgame.
Okay.
All right. This is a pretty fucked up story, but this is totally true. All right. So I was supposed to watch Endgame at 8:30 a.m. So I get there. Me and K-Mac, my girlfriend, we get there like around 8:15ish. Get our popcorn. I usually intermittent fast, but I was like, fuck it. If I'm watching a movie, I'm fucking eating some goddamn popcorn.
Yeah.
So I get my popcorn. I'm walking up to the theater, and as I'm walking to the theater, or we were walking to the theater, the fucking fire alarm goes off in the theater.
God damn it.
I'm like, what the fuck? Fire alarm goes off. Everybody gets evacuated from this theater. I'm like, all right.
And you're already seated and all that good stuff.
No, I was walking to the theater.
Oh, okay.
So fire alarm goes off. Everybody has to exit the theater. So we all waiting outside. Then about 15 minutes later, they let us all back in. All good. Sit down in the theater. The guy walks in. He's like, so you guys have the options because they were like running late, obviously. Like, you guys want to see the previews or you don't want to see the previews? I was like, just the movie.
Yeah.
Just show me the fucking movie. So they turned the movie on. All right. I was like,
Nice.
good to go.
Saves
Great.
like 20 minutes right there.
Yeah, so we get into about an hour and a half, hour and maybe 2 hours into the movie.
Wow.
Fucking fire alarm goes off again.
Jesus Christ.
Everybody gets evacuated. They turn off the movie. Everybody gets evacuated again. Apparently, this was the third time it happened that day. All right, third time that day. So they said that they have to close down the theater because they can't call because when fire alarm goes off, it calls the fire department.
Of course.
And so if it happens 3 times, you got to fucking figure out what the fuck happened.
Yep.
So they said we have to close down the theater.
Jesus
So we're like,
Christ.
what the fuck? So people were like getting mad, like fucking riot mad.
Yep.
Well, did they say somebody was pulling an alarm or there was some
They said there's something wrong with the
electrical?
system.
Okay.
I thought somebody was pulling the alarm.
And you don't
Fucking
smell any
with-
smoke either.
No, there was no fucking fire, obviously. But the fire doors went down and all that shit. So I'm like, as soon as like somebody started yelling, he was so mad and shit. And they were like, we got to close down the theater. I was like, well, they're closing it down. So I bought a ticket at like 1:05 later on in the day.
Yeah.
So watch the movie. It's epic, you know. And as we were leaving, we actually met up with Blue.
Okay.
Blue was like, "I'll watch it with you," so he's like sitting next to us. And as we're leaving the movie, we walk out and there's fucking smoke all in the fucking hallway.
Damn.
Apparently, somebody burned the popcorn. Fire alarm didn't go
That's
off.
fucking crazy.
It was great.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey.
Anyway, now on to the fucking movie. Oh, so what did you guys want to give the last episode of Game of Thrones? If you had a score to give, what would you give it?
I give it 7.5.
Okay.
What? Okay.
Give it about a 8.5. 8.5.
Yeah, 8.5.
I give it 8.5 as well.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right.
All right. Before we get on in here, we had some predictions. First and foremost, on the box office numbers. This was fun. We did it just prior. Domestic actually ended up breaking fucking records.
Yeah.
Destroying records.
Yeah. 350 domestic was the final number for the opening weekend.
I think Force Awakens was 325 or something.
No, fuck no.
It was like it was
It was
275.
two fucking.
Oh, okay.
275, I think it was.
Okay.
No,
Ooh,
it's
no, I think,
250.
yeah, I think it was even lower than that.
It's 257,
I feel like-
I think.
I feel like didn't Infinity War even
Infinity War
beat-
was the highest.
No,
Yeah,
Infinity War did not beat
Yes, it
Force
did.
Awakens.
Yes, it did.
Nope.
Opening weekend, it did.
Nope.
God damn it, we got a fact check at the very
Yeah.
beginning of this?
Yeah, we
Get your
do.
apology ready.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
All right, well, y'all figure that bullshit out. While you're looking, right now it's at over 427 domestically, and it's definitely over 1.4 billion as we speak.
So the Force Awakens opening weekend domestically made 247, and Infinity War made 257.
Apologize.
Oh.
Apologize.
You wrong.
Oh, man.
Apologize.
I got Prodigy.
Oh, good motherfucker. Put my name in this bullshit.
exactly.
But yeah, so really good numbers. Everybody who was
Timestamp
talking
that.
about north of 300,
Yeah.
you know, was pretty much in the right range.
Yeah, 100 million. I didn't even think that was physically possible to do 100 million more than.
Well, you saw what happened. They kept adding more and more times. There was multiple
There's only
theaters,
24 hours in a day. I was
but
confused
they
how
were
they could
literally
Even,
playing it 24 hours a day.
Yep.
I thought they were playing fucking Infinity War 24 hours a day. They
No.
found more time. They took the time stone, fucking, and the reality stone and just added more fucking theaters and shit.
I mean, I watched that shit at 8:30 in the fucking morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? On a Friday, and there was multiple theaters in the Bay Area alone that played it 24 hours a fucking day.
I saw start times at 1 in the morning and shit. It was fucking crazy. People were like, "Oh yeah, we got out at 4 a.m." I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
But I mean, good, awesome.
And I like the fact, just to give props where props are due, I like the fact that we all knew ahead of time, if you paid attention at all, that it was going to be a 3-hour movie. We knew it
Yeah.
going in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
I got no complaints about the length of it either.
So I basically watched Endgame for 5 fucking hours,
oh yeah.
and I didn't piss once. Just
There
so
you
you
go.
know.
Because you had your 2 hours and your other 3, right?
Yeah, yeah.
God damn.
I managed to get a piss break during mine. So when I watched the film, maybe about half hour in, the sound fucked up. Like the sound, it sounded like a record screeching,
Oh shit.
like across, and people were screaming at the fucking screen.
What theater was this?
This is at the new theater at Valley Fair, the Icon Theater. So like people were leaving the theater, and they paused the movie. So they paused the movie and they set it back like 15, 20 minutes. So we managed to it took the time for us to inform them, then to stop the film, and then rewind it for me to get a chance to take a pee break. And when I came back, we were in the middle of like scenes I'd already watched. So
God damn. Everybody had some problems
yeah, it
with
was
this
an
shit.
issue. But I mean, our theater was packed, super packed. So
All right, let's jump on in. Right off the fucking bat, just like from the trailers, we're seeing Tony Stark and Nebula up in space, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doing their thing. They're stranded, low on oxygen and all that, playing paper football. That was awesome.
Yeah. He's been doing journals. He's doing his
Oh.
whatever star log and the whatever
yeah,
kind of thing.
before that we see Hawkeye, because Hawkeye's not in Infinity
Oh
War.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
We
so
see him and his family gets dusted.
yeah,
that's
this
right. I forgot about that.
this movie starts off with a fucking tearjerker.
Yeah.
Like people were crying in the theater.
Mm.
Actually, multiple. I came back cried a couple times in the watching the movie. But yeah, that first like
Oh, where he
scene
lost his family.
Yeah, lost
Yeah.
his family. I was like, damn, that's fucked up.
I had almost forgotten about his family because we haven't really seen them since Age of Ultron.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, really good opening scene and teaching his daughter how to do some archery shit, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And it feels like one of those 80s Armageddon kind of movies. You know what I mean? In terms of like, the rapture is here.
Yeah.
And everybody just fucking vanished. Where are you?
Yeah. And all you see is the dust just fucking floating away, and then he's just left, and literally the movie opens that way.
Yeah.
Then we cut to Nebula and Tony in space.
Yeah. Real touching scenes. You get the tone right off the bat, obviously, with that Hawkeye scene, but even more so with Tony in space looking like a cancer patient or looking like Batman as the mechanic.
The Christian Bale.
Yeah, Christian Bale in that one. I mean, he's definitely, I don't know, 50, 60 pounds underweight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
Looking all gaunt in
very
his eyes.
famished.
So Prodigy is referencing Christian Bale looking like the machinist in the
mechanic.
film.
Yeah, one of them.
The mechanics with Jason Statham. There you go.
Movie.
Same movie.
Yeah, but I mean,
Machinist is all fucked up though.
he looks sickly. His eyes are fucking all yellowy and red. I mean, he looked like he has seen much fucking better days. I love that shit.
Looked like
Looks
a
like,
White Walker.
looks like he was back on drugs.
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
saying.
damn.
Y'all forget about that shit.
No, I
Yeah,
didn't forget.
he wasn't there wrong.
I'm already about to
He
crackhead.
was on that
I mean,
shit.
he looked like a White Walker.
So, and he lets Pepper know through his little video thing, basically, by the morning, I'm going to be gone. We're out of oxygen. This is it. Last ride. I'll be thinking of you. You my one and only.
Yeah, and he points out that they've been in space for
23 days?
That's why I
22
get
days.
confused. Yeah. Just remember 23 days because I want to bring up something. They talk about 2 days later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was kind of confused on the timeline for that. Prodigy's favorite hero comes in.
Saves the day.
Yeah, so obviously, just full disclosure, my Twitter handle says Captain Marvel hater. I am like a J. Jonah Jameson for her. This was my first time seeing her in an MCU film. I did not watch Captain Marvel, but I can be fair and unbiased.
No, you
All
you
know I
what?
can be.
Okay, those of you who are
What-
those
You
of
need to-
you wait, stop.
There were
Whoever-
six.
What's
six-
going on here?
Anyone listening
Six
to this
eyes
through an
did-
audio,
What are we talking about?
you need to timestamp this right
Yeah.
now because we're going to shelve
Yeah.
this for later.
We need a screenshot.
Yeah,
What are we
yeah.
talking about?
Hold the fuck on. That'd be like if you had a Twitter handle that said "I hate Jews," be like, "But I ain't got a problem with the Jews." Though.
I mean, look, I can put aside those tweets and then fairly assess a movie.
We are going to come back to this.
As I gave you my skeptical Negro look, I could see Kronos giving you the skeptical Negro look, and I'm
I didn't
sure
do anything.
Old Ninja gave you skeptical. So you
I
had
haven't even hated.
you had
Oh,
I
not
didn't do
yet.
any hate.
six
this-
eyes gave you a skeptical Negro look.
So we already know it is coming, and I know because I got receipts. Well, I'm gonna wait. We're gonna shelve this, timestamp this now. If you're listening, we finna come to it. Okay, keep going.
Go
So
ahead.
skeptical.
You know, I already know. I was waiting.
How
So let's.
fucking dare you?
All I'm saying is, she came through, bright light, and didn't say shit.
She was all Super Saiyan and shit.
Yeah, bright light, and Tony sees her, I guess, basically in his coma, about to die. Bright light, coming to the rescue, and that's it. There's no fucking words, right?
No, she didn't say anything. The next shot is her bringing them back to the Avengers. And it's not the tower.
Yeah,
it's like whatever.
It's upstate New York.
yeah.
Well-
So what the fuck? The Avengers base.
I think
There you go.
before that, though, we get a look at how things are going on Earth, right? We
I
see
think
that
we see that.
we see the Mets don't.
No,
fucking
that's
put-
later. That's later.
Yeah.
That's later.
Oh, okay.
We'll jump to that. So basically, they come to the tower. Pepper and Tony have their reunion. They're talking about what had happened, and then Tony and Cap are going at it again, talking about
No. Don't get this. Don't get this fucked up. Tony was telling Cap's ass, I was motherfucking right.
No, Cap was in. Well, you're skipping it because Cap was in therapy.
No, this is later. We'll get to no. Anyway, we'll keep going with this.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Tony was letting
he
Cap
did.
know.
He let him know
He
that
said,
he left. But
back in Ultron, I had a vision, engulfed
did.
the world in a protective shield. You said you'd be with me.
that was in Age
You
of
ain't shit.
Ultron. Yeah, that was in Age of Ultron. But it's not as if Cap wasn't fighting on Earth. Just Tony was off planet fighting, which
Yeah, but Tony doesn't know any of that.
yeah, he didn't. And Cap didn't say. He just let Tony rant or whatnot. And so they were going at it again like it was back in Civil War. They're yelling at each other and shit.
But it was no. I think you're miscategorizing this. This was mostly Tony
Oh, okay.
venting and going off
He was venting.
about his feelings, and Cap just being like, you're looking really bad right now. Obviously, you look like a cancer patient,
Yeah.
and you have some good points.
So then he collapses.
Yeah.
He gets worked up, collapses. He literally gives.
He didn't have good points.
He did have good points about the whole thing with Ultron and
No.
the whole
No,
reason why he wanted to.
How would he have
because
stopped
He,
that?
Those are
he
terrible
started
points.
Ultron.
Because everything that he just said,
Well-
none of that would have stopped Thanos.
Nah.
Yeah.
All those fucking robots would have
Yeah.
stopped Thanos.
Yeah.
No, here's the thing though. He wanted to try to work together with the Avengers and try to protect the Earth. That's a good point for him.
No, what the fuck?
For
No.
Tony Stark, that's what he said all the time.
The whole point of the Civil War is because he wanted them to register to the fucking government so they could hamstring all their shit.
But I'm not
and
talking-
then Tony wanted to have control over who was going to protect the Earth, which is basically fucking him and his
That's-
robots.
No, that's afterwards, dude. That you're talking about Civil War. Ultron was before then, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
No, but isn't that what he was making the robots for?
Yeah, he
Was
was
to protect the planet? Because he even talked about it in fucking Age of Ultron.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He's talking about. Tony was talking about his points and his arguments from Age of Ultron.
And they were weak as fuck.
No, they were strong. They were
No,
way
they
stronger than
weren't.
Cap's.
No, they,
Cap didn't want to. Cap didn't want to do. In Age of Ultron, what was Cap's point?
Cap's point was you made something that was too goddamn dangerous for you to fucking control and almost killed us all.
And
that
it
was his point.
And they alluded to tech that he found, and he wanted to improve on it.
And
Because
that-
he
and
wanted to
That
stay
he,
home.
and
that
Tony
he
was-
kept secret.
And Tony was easily manipulated by the fucking Mind Stone.
Everybody was. Everybody was. But
Was
but,
Cap?
but no.
Was
Actually, no.
Cap?
It wasn't the mindset. Hold on.
Was Cap?
Hold on. Yes, he was.
No, he was
yes,
fine.
he was. No, he fucking wasn't. He saw the vision of the 1940s shit. Remember?
Did he make a bunch of robots and try to take over the world?
No, but hold on. You're
No, he didn't.
You're confusing what Scarlet Witch did. Without the Mind Stone, this was Scarlet Witch doing her hypnotism stuff. That's what caused Hulk to rage out and hurt those people and whatnot, where they had the Hulk Buster.
Did Cap do any of that though?
Cap actually was under the hex too. Everybody was.
But he didn't
Cap
make a
saw
bunch
his
of robots.
girlfriend. Yeah, Cap was in his feels
Wait,
about his relationship.
Scarlet Witch didn't cause Tony to make with Bruce Banner Ultron.
It was the Mind Stone, wasn't it?
No, not
No. The Mind Stone.
Pretty sure it was.
No, the Mind Stone.
No,
so
not
the
in Age of
Mind
Ultron.
the Mind Stone was under Hydra control. They used the Mind Stone to basically create Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch.
Either way, Tony was not right.
Tony
Yeah.
was absolutely. Tony's the star of the show.
he
He was
Oh
right.
shit!
Sorry.
Be the
Stop.
BTI Civil
Stop.
War.
So-
No,
Right.
Tony
Out
was
your
absolutely
goddamn
right.
mind.
Anyway, can-
America's ass. Whatever.
let's move
Tony
forward.
told his punk ass, "This is the way it is, Cap.
Yeah,
Because
but-
and he was
a
wrong.
fucking spaceship would have
He was
stopped
wrong.
Thanos from fucking snapping.
Better than trying with a shield, I guess. I mean, come on now. Tony was doing all he could to prevent his villain.
Okay, so
Yeah,
from
and
destroying
who-
things.
So who did more damage to Thanos? Iron Man or well, actually I guess Iron Man got him in the end.
Iron Man, of course. Iron Man invented the gauntlet, basically. Come on.
No,
well,
no,
he
but-
copied the design, but
I mean, that's pretty impressive to create a gauntlet. That's I
Okay.
mean, and to master time travel.
his,
All right,
art,
let's
his
go.
argument
Let's
was
bring-
so poor.
Give Tony his props.
Let's bring it back. Anyway, Tony was ranting and raving. He collapsed, and that's when Captain Marvel was like, "Well, let's go find. I'm gonna go find Thanos."
No,
and they're like, "How are you gonna find Thanos?" And she's like, "I know people that do." Nebula comes out and says, "Don't worry, I know where he's at." And they're like, "What's up?" Then Rocket shows them that the energy that was used on Earth, there was the same energy used on some unknown planet 2 days before, and they're all there. That's where he's at. So they banded together.
The garden or whatever. Fuck.
Yeah, they called the garden, but they didn't give a name of the planet. So they banded up, took off to this planet. They did some recon, showed that he was the only one there. He had no defenses, and they jumped Thanos. Now this is the shit that kind of fucked me up. They all hoarded up on Thanos. Thanos was all fucked up, like half his body scarred,
Yeah.
and I'm like wondering what the fuck happened.
So
So
we've
they
already seen a little bit of that.
No.
no,
No.
no,
No.
not half his body.
Even in Infinity
He was
War.
a
Hold
little
on.
bit damaged.
No,
That's
it's
in Infinity War.
only his hand.
Only his
was.
hand
Yeah,
was.
that's what I'm saying.
Just the
That's
glove.
what I said. I said we've seen a little bit of that.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
all I'm saying.
But I'm saying half his body.
Arguing and shit. Yeah, we saw a little bit of it in Infinity War.
But he was limping in this one. He wasn't limping
yeah,
in Infinity
way
War.
more damage. We see more of it in this.
So we find out why. So they all jump him. Thor cuts off his arm with containing the gauntlet. They find out the stones are missing. So they ask Thanos what the fuck happened. He's all, I used the stones'
To destroy
power
the stones.
to destroy the stones. I reduced them to atoms. And they're like, he said it almost killed me. And that's why basically I'm all fucked up. So then they're like, well, they didn't believe him at first. And then Nebula's like, nope, he ain't lying. And he's like, yep, that's true.
I
And
know
then
my father
Thor
did not.
came in with the fucking
Stormbreaker.
guillotine.
Yeah.
So,
Saw them all.
I literally did a head tilt. I was like,
so this
what
is
the
where
fuck?
this is where we're gonna pause for a second, okay?
Good.
So this is one of the things. If you haven't read Titan Consumed, it's the book that leads. I talked about it in the last podcast. Basically, it's about Thanos in the MCU from like a child up into the events just before
Infinity War.
Not even before. Right before he gives the stone, the Mind Stone to Loki.
Oh, okay.
So it's just before that. All right. So the idea for Thanos when he decides to get rid of half of a planet, his whole idea was to have a lottery on Titan, right? So because he figured out that Titan was going to be fucked in X number of years because they were out of resources, but nobody else realized it. And so his thing was, we're going to have a lottery of people with random numbers, and half of them are going to die. Like I have a humane way to kill them. They'll just walk into a machine, they'll just die, no pain whatsoever.
Yep.
And to show my faith, I will be guaranteed in that fucking pool. So I'll be one of the first ones to die, along with the half of the population. So it makes sense when you watch this that he doesn't put up any kind of fight, really, because he thought he was going to die when he snapped his fingers.
Yeah, my only problem with that is I get that there is a book on Thanos and there's plenty of comics on Thanos and whatnot, but this doesn't do justice in either of these movies explaining that in detail.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's all I was like
Yeah.
bringing in the book. I mean,
Yeah.
there's also other things, there's other Thanos comics where, I mean, he kills himself.
Of course.
So
Yeah, but-
that shit is,
But this feels like a drastically different Thanos.
yeah, well,
from
that's
any
all
of those.
that's all I was trying to, just give some sort of context.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish they had I wish they had that story in between Infinity War and Endgame,
You
because
know
it had
what?
made like way more sense. If
We
they would've-
still could with Disney Plus, but that would be later on.
well,
down
no,
the
you
road.
can't because he's no
No
longer
way.
in between.
No way.
Well, they're planning on doing prequel fucking shit anyway.
Well, no,
so-
I
But
mean,
not with
it'd be
Thanos.
cool, but it'd have made more sense if they had to like put it in between the two.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
know?
I
Yeah,
see.
you-
No.
And you're not getting it. Remember this is a 3-hour movie. Infinity
Yeah.
War was like 2.5 hours. This is
Roughly.
This is the Infinity Saga.
Yeah, so I mean, from what my take was, he even says what he came to do is done.
Yep.
So it doesn't
He's
matter
at
if you
peace.
fucking kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you kill me, it don't matter. You can't undo what I did.
but-
The stones are gone. I got what I wanted. So whatever you do to me, it don't matter. You
But
can't get it
but
back.
it's also he always expected to die.
Yeah.
He,
So
was content with what
I figured he didn't put up much of a fight because he's like, well, you can't. I'm inevitable.
You lost.
Yeah.
He's like,
And you
whatever.
can't deal with it. I got what I wanted. I cleansed the universe. Fuck y'all. And they were like, well, shut up. And then they cut his head off.
Yeah, which
Not
was
they. That was all Thor.
Yeah, well,
which
I mean,
was
I say they
fucking
because they held him down.
crazy. I was
So-
not expecting.
This is
Yeah,
the
that was a what the
part
fuck moment.
where they cut to back to Earth.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Where,
5 years later.
Yeah,
which was
5
I
years
was
later.
another surprise. I was like, and it did it nice and slow. It was like 5. It was like
5 years
yeah.
later.
I was like, oh, 5 months.
yeah, no,
I was like, oh shit. Okay.
And you see, like, the New York docks aren't working. The MetLife fucking field is, like, empty and fucked up.
Yeah.
And
All the
Captain,
boats
like,
and
yeah,
abandoned cars and
nobody's
shit.
working. Ain't nobody doing nothing. And then you see
Captain therapy group.
Cap's in like a support group. Yeah, some
Talking about
therapy
getting
support
people
group.
getting on with their lives and
And
everything.
they couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Everyone's all crying and stuff, and then we see Cap go back to the Avengers Tower, and Natalie's having some freaking or Natasha.
The weird thing is, so I'm glad they showed those scenes where everything was still fucked up, because if you eliminated half of the population of any planet, it wouldn't go so well.
course.
It wouldn't just be like, hey, all of a sudden you have double the resources. No, you don't, because the people that were the half that survived, they don't know how to maintain those resources, and they don't know how to do like all the shit. You know what I mean?
Well, some
Like,
will, but yeah.
Some, but it's like it's half of that, at least half
It
of
reduces
that.
thing. Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
just like you might have an abundance for a minute, but not for a very long time, because we're not. You would have to basically go to like an agrarian society, the way you have to like basically build your own shit and like learn how to like grow your own food, all that shit in. Because like if you reduce the amount of farm hands on any farm, like by half,
Yeah.
that farm is done.
Yeah.
Like done.
Same. I mean, the same with like nuclear power plant. You cut that workforce down in half, you might get a meltdown.
Well,
Just,
yeah,
like,
'cause-
just shit in general.
'cause you
Like
can't
people were
turn 'em
crashing cars and all kinds of shit. I mean, I'm sure planes fell from the fucking sky.
They
yeah.
did. We saw that in Infinity
Yeah.
War.
I mean, it took it took about 10, 12 years for them to just rebuild ground zero.
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
in
absolutely.
in real life
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And this was 5 years. So yeah, I'm not surprised that there's fucking boats still ashore or whatever. I mean, fucking there's shit in New Orleans and Katrina
really-
that's still fucked up.
It really set the fucking tone for this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's a somber fucking note. They've lost, you know.
And that's one of the reasons why I love this movie is because this is like one of the few movies where you had, it was emotional, it was action packed, and it was funny. And there's very few movies where you have all three of those elements that, to me, worked well together, because they had moments that were sad, funny, and action packed. And I love that shit.
Yeah, because we always talk about how dark the DC movies are and stuff, and it would have just wallowed in just darkness if this was a DC movie. But Marvel,
I mean,
even
Shazam was not that way. Just to point that.
I didn't watch that shit, but it did like Krona said, it did bring some humor in certain aspects of it, and it let everything see from like a big picture. It's like, all right, we're going to try to move on and stuff, but obviously there's some issues in terms of people's just psyche and where they're at mentally in terms of how they're going to actually physically move on, which was awesome that they touched on and weren't just like all of a sudden, all right, let's fix it, let's go, team go, or whatever.
Yeah.
It was, you could tell that it was still heavy.
Yeah, I mean, for
repercussions.
some people, much more than others. I mean, obviously, you know, Tony has a family.
Yeah,
Tony
moved on.
Yeah, Tony completely moved on. He's got bees. He's living upstate.
He's got a baby? Well, not a baby.
He's got a 4-year-old.
kid,
Yeah. You know, obviously, we already talked about Cap having his, you know, therapy groups and struggling.
Yeah, he was
Even with
struggling.
that.
He had a duality. It was what got me is that he was admitting to them, which I'm sure it doesn't really matter at this point that he was Captain America pretty much. Like some people may not have known his identity, but he was just like, you know, I was an Avenger and we fucked up.
Yeah,
so
well, it was sort of understood because I mean, I would say what happened. Okay, yeah, it's not a big deal that they're superheroes or whatever.
Not
because
anymore.
there was something fucking massively that fucking happened, which I also think is another crazy thing when we get to Hulk's part where he's in the diner and stuff, where
Yeah, we
people
gotta
are
talk
just
about that.
fully accepting that.
Yeah, but before we even do that, though, I know I have said a lot of shit, but I really didn't quite connect with Black Widow eating the peanut butter sandwich and doing the check-in as much as I probably could have if that scene was played differently. I don't know. It felt a little weird to do the holographic check-in 5 years later in that format. I don't know.
Actually, with her, I kind of understand because she was somebody that never had a family of any
all
sort.
she fucking had was
Yeah, all she had was like the mission, and so for her to keep wanting to push for the mission to like normalize her life, that made total sense to me. For anybody else that was an Avenger, they all had, you know, a love of their life,
Yeah.
a family, or something like that.
Yeah.
So none of them could have really focused on that task. For her, there was just like, it's always been the mission since she was like a little kid.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, go check on that underwater earthquake," and they're like, "Nah, it was an earthquake."
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
whatever.
I mean, you know,
I mean,
Rhodey we don't see with the family either. You
I mean,
know?
his-
Rhodey, you know.
Nobody gives a fuck about Rhodey.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Falcon.
damn.
I mean, there are some that don't have like families that
Falcon
we
was
see.
dusted.
Yeah, but
I'm sorry, you're right. Falcon was dusted, but Rhodey's alive.
But Rhodey and Falcon, you don't really see a huge like buddy relationship with them or
It's
whatnot.
it's not Terrence Howard, so
Yeah,
Oh,
true.
just
goddamn, we still missed
and,
out.
and he's a cripple. Just saying.
He is
Yes,
disabled.
he is. He's still not
which
completely
actually, I'll
healed.
bring that up again like later on in this episode.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, to me the check-in worked out fine. I mean, she was still fucked up,
Yeah, she was still emotionally fucked up, just like how Cap was.
and she was in denial about Clint.
She was. It felt like she was even more shook up. At least
She
to
was.
me.
She was sure.
I would say so.
People
But,
handle
yeah.
grief. I mean,
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
completely fine with that or whatever. She took it harder and for obvious reasons than somebody else did.
And then when Rhodey told her about Clint, like she knew what Clint was doing.
Oh, yeah.
She
Yeah.
just didn't want to
She
fess
didn't
up to
wanna-
it.
she didn't wanna
wanna
accept
own
it.
up.
Yeah.
She knew what he was going through. She knew he lost his family, but she didn't want to put on the boots to go find him and tell him to stop.
So what we're saying is basically Hawkeye became sort of like an anti-hero villain, sort of.
The Ronin.
Definitely. There's
He
no,
was-
doubt-
he was-
no
he
doubt
was-
about
He
it.
was going around killing anybody that did anything bad. He was
Yeah.
known as Ronin, that was basically his name
Yeah.
in this, and he was going around just killing anybody that did anybody any wrong.
All over the world.
Yeah, he's like, they reduced everything by half. Why is your scumbag ass still here?
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking kill you and solve this equation.
Someone asked a very, very excellent question in the chat.
What's that?
Do you think the underwater quake was anything to do with Namor?
I
and
fucking hope
Atlantis?
so because it would set up Secret Wars, which is where I believe they should go with the next
They
phase.
could.
Is because
they very could.
they have the major players already there. They're only
Interesting.
missing Namor, and that's basically it that they really need.
Don't they need Doom and Reed Richards?
Oh yeah. But
getting them.
but that will all set up because that will bring the Fantastic Four into the fold.
Yeah.
It'd be fucking perfect. And actually, they can even because in part of Secret Wars, you have some of the X-Men in there as well.
Absolutely.
So they can have like a cameo of the X-Men. So it'd be a great way to bring all these other franchises into the fold with the MCU.
Yeah.
I think that's the way they should go.
Yeah, but then
and-
again,
and-
Feige, whatever, that said, hey, y'all nerds better wait 5 years.
I mean, it could.
And that's fine, but I mean, I'm just saying because they need to bring in some more celestial beings into it because listen, the MCU they shot pretty high with this phase
Of
by
course.
having Thanos as a villain. Like Thanos is a pretty heavy hitter,
Mhm.
but there are heavy hitters in the Marvel universe.
Absolutely.
It's not that many, but they are out there. But they basically have to go to a celestial being to be able to outdo Thanos. So the Beyonders will be one, which are in, Secret
War,
Wars. There's a bunch of others as well. One above all.
Galactus.
Galactus he's on the same level as Thanos, in my opinion.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah,
A world
yeah.
eater?
They've had a bunch of fights before, and
Oh, this is true.
I mean,
one of it they haven't destroyed each other.
Yeah,
like
I mean, they're
hands
both
down.
powerful,
So they both, I think they're as powerful. And there's beings that can both fuck up Galactus and Thanos at the same time. The Beyonders being one of them, because the Beyonders they fucking killed the Tribunal, the Living
Yeah,
Tribunal,
yeah.
easily. 3 of them did.
yeah.
And if 3 of them can kill the Living Tribunal that easily, one of them can easily kill Thanos or Galactus.
They got to
We'll see.
they have to reset the table and everything.
Yeah.
I mean,
This-
we
yeah, this
we
did it.
witnessed what it was 11-year build up
Yep.
Yeah.
and everything. So I mean, it was great. Obviously, they played it perfect. So if they are going to go in the route of Secret Wars, they got to set the table and set up all these pieces, all these characters, which is perfectly fine because we trust them. So
Yep.
Yeah.
For the most part.
yeah.
And then for Secret Wars, the next one they should do after Secret Wars would be the Ultimates.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because they would have obviously the universe would have been fractured,
We'll see.
and then they'll bring in the Ultimates. So
To the movie.
So after where were we? The whole Clint Barton thing, and then we get Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's in his van. Some rat fucking just steps on some shit, and then fucking the van shits out Ant-Man. Ant-Man's all trapped. He gets out. He doesn't know what the fuck happened.
Yeah, he's
He's
confused.
been gone this whole time, and then he goes and tries to find his daughter. Finds out she's still alive now. She's like a teenager
that
or
was
like
emotional as well.
yeah.
Super emotional.
Yeah.
Ant-Man knocked this out of the park, and I haven't traditionally given a fuck about him. I thought he did better in this than any other time I've seen him.
he had more. Well, yeah, I guess so. I was like, he had a lot of screen time compared to Civil War.
He was a big-
I cared about him more in this than even his own movie.
Well, he brought it this time because he ends up going to the Avengers and saying, "Hey, you all remember me?" They're all, "What's up? We thought you were dead." And he's all, "Hey." He's all, "I don't know what happened, but for me, this has only been 5 hours."
Yeah.
And they're like, "What?" He's all, "For you, it's been 5 years. For me, I've been 5 hours." He explains the quantum realm, and they're like, "What?" And he sets the table for using time travel as a way to fix everything. And they're thinking, at this point, everyone says it's a long shot. They don't believe it. They don't understand quantum physics.
Yeah, Hulk is like, that's not my expertise.
It's not my expertise. Well, they go to Tony first.
Oh, yeah.
They go to Tony. Tony's like, "I got a family now. Y'all are like grabbing at straws. Like, y'all need to, y'all. It's good to see y'all. I haven't seen you in 5 years. If y'all want to hang out, we can hang out. You just can't talk about this fucking bullshit. If not, y'all got to fucking kick rocks." And so they plant the seed with Tony about a possibility of getting this over. So they leave.
Hold on, one sec, one quick sec. You can't gloss over. This is the first time they alluded to this literally in Infinity War when he and Pepper were talking at the very beginning about Tony having a dream about having a kid. Remember that? And then you don't remember that shit? They had a whole conversation. Tony and Pepper. I had a dream that you had a baby or something.
Essentially, well, Tony realizes that, okay, Tony has moved on, and obviously,
Yeah.
he's happy with how his life is right now. He's content with it. He has a family, kid. He's living his good life and everything, and he realizes that y'all, this has potential, high potential. If we start fucking with timelines, we have no idea how shit's going to end up, and what I have right now is not guaranteed.
But more importantly, though, we're seeing for the very first time Tony actually have a kid. Like, that was a big fucking deal with
is a
Pepper.
deal,
We've
but-
seen he and Pepper literally since 2008, you know?
Wait,
But I think it's funny though how they make jokes about how like the time works, and they were making fun of other movies that
Yeah.
fucked up time.
That was
Oh, Back to the Future.
yeah, I mean,
yeah.
we saw Tony and Pepper in Spider-Man: Homecoming, so it hasn't been that long.
No, I'm talking about the very first time we saw them in the first MCU movie.
Yes, I
We've
get
seen
that.
their whole journey, and now
So,
they have a kid.
For me, it was more poignant that he brought up the dream that he saw in Age of Ultron, because we see bits and pieces of that in this film. Not he only talks about having a kid, but when he talks about it in other films, it's kind of offhanded, and it's kind of like it's almost like a joke, because she like brings him back. So I was like, when he talked about the whole dream about how he thought he brought the demise of the Avengers and how everything was his fault, that was in Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
And part of that kind of came true. Actually, even more of it came true in this film, which we'll get to
certain.
later. So anyway, they go see him. They go see fucking Hulk, who's now different.
Emasculated.
Wait, who? Sorry.
Hulk Banner.
on. It's not emasculated.
Oh, for certain.
Chill, Hulk.
Spaniel
This
so.
listen, if you're a real Hulk fan, this is a version of the Hulk.
Yeah. He's just
the
not great.
The Hulk did no fighting in this movie.
Nobody cared
And,
Oh!
except you.
I mean, look,
What are you talking about?
he didn't do any.
Smashed a portion of the car and he threw a.
Yeah.
He threw a motorcycle.
in a joke. I mean,
He threw a bench in the water because ScarJo mattered.
Damn.
yeah, whatever. yeah.
Hey.
They don't even have a scene together reconnecting, really. You know what I mean?
Because
But
she
then
don't give
he-
a fuck
then
about
he-
him.
yeah,
He's so pussy.
Hold
whipped.
on. They
He fought,
I mean,
he fought in the last battle. What are you talking about?
he does
No, he
fight.
didn't.
You don't see it. He's
No,
in,
off screen.
he's
Okay.
that's pretty much it.
Well,
I mean,
fuck that. I mean,
dude.
look. Okay, hold on.
And
All,
he
all
was-
I'm saying. Hold
he
on. Wait,
was
wait. All I'm
one-handed
saying.
now.
All I'm saying though is Thor wanted revenge on Thanos. Obviously, Thor lost to Thanos.
Thor's the one who cut his head off.
Tony wanted to get revenge on Thanos, and Cap wanted.
Tony wanted to move on.
They all want. What are you talking? I'm talking about the fucking end.
Oh,
Tony,
well,
Tony wanted to fight Thanos.
well, let's.
He did fight Thanos.
At the end of.
He's
the
talking
end
about
of
the
this
end of
fucking movie.
film. Well,
Oh, well,
Am I
I mean,
speaking Greek here?
we
No.
get there eventually.
all
but-
I'm saying is all three of them wanted to get some revenge and attack Thanos, right?
Well, Thanos got his head chopped off, and everyone was like, "All right,
Jesus fucking Christ.
yeah, I get it. I get it.
Hulk was
Yes.
there too and fought him
But
in Infinity
you
War
gotta
and
remember,
wants nothing of it.
At the
That's
end
all
of
I'm
this,
saying.
Hulk was one-handed. So
He wants no fighting.
No,
that's a drastic change for Hulk.
no, in this he
No.
he wanted to fight. You just don't see it.
Oh Jesus.
So
There's no
it's
fighting.
not like
There's no
it's-
fighting with the Hulk in this.
I wouldn't say that he didn't want to fight, but you're right. I don't remember him seeing.
You don't see
doing any
it.
fighting.
What
But-
you
Well,
see
and
is
remember
him,
the biggest thing from Infinity War, at least from the Hulk's perspective, was him saying, "I don't want to come out
Hulk
and
no."
fight."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he said Hulk no and
Well,
did that.
Yeah, but he also said he consolidated that.
Yeah, I know.
Early
It's
in the
5
movie.
years later.
Yeah.
He was able to go into the Gamma Lab. I get all that, but again, this Hulk does not want to fight.
It's not that he
it's-
he's
don't say that because he didn't say that in this movie.
He
not
does not
only-
do any fighting,
you
Okay,
don't
and he does not.
see-
He does not want to.
Hold on.
I mean,
No,
I'm gonna
no.
counter.
He doesn't want to.
I'm gonna counter this because during the
Prove that he
big
wants
fight
to fight.
scene, in the fight, the end scene,
Where does he say he doesn't want to
he's
fight
in
in
the
this
rush.
movie?
Where does he say he? Where does he?
He
wait,
doesn't say
wait,
he's
wait, wait.
if he didn't want his fight, he
We're
would
on
have
the hold on. Wait. We're on the same page. He does not fight in this one, right?
That we don't see it.
We're on the same page. He does not fight in this movie, right?
No, we're not on the same
Okay.
page.
Okay. Tell me your
sorry.
point. Tell me your perspective.
In the movie, he's in the rush in the fight. He's part of the charging line that rushes Thanos' forces. If he did not want to fight, he'd be in the back, or he wouldn't be in the fight at all. But he's in the fight. We just don't see it. There's a lot of shit that's been cut from this movie. Just get it at
It's a
3
3-hour
hours.
movie.
So just because you don't see it doesn't mean he doesn't do it. And
I-
he's in the charge.
I didn't get the feeling that he was a pacifist in the movie at all.
No, I didn't get that at all.
Strongly got the feeling from this movie that he had moved beyond.
Well, there's no actual evidence
But-
for
well,
that
to-
supports your thinking.
To me, the evidence is He's making jokes about the smashing and the whole time travel, and then you never see him do any fighting. In every Hulk movie or movie that's had the Hulk in it, there's always been a scene with him doing some smashing or fighting of some
Infinity
sort.
War?
There was an Infinity War at the very beginning. Thank you. I mean, come on. In every time.
Look, I just saw this movie like an hour before the cast.
Okay.
So in the charge, there's a bunch of other characters. Like you don't really see Wasp fight, and she's there in the fucking mix.
Okay, but Hulk, Thor, Tony, and Cap, along with Black Widow and Hawkeye, have been the original Avengers from the very first movie.
Yeah.
Right? This movie is more about those 6 characters, the original Avengers, than it is about Wasp or Black Panther.
I'm with you up to the extent that he doesn't fight. They don't show him fighting in the movie.
They don't.
But for you to say that he doesn't want to fight,
or to call him a pacifist.
He seems that way to me, man.
No,
I'm not seeing any evidence to counter that my thinking on that.
You're not seeing any evidence to support that either.
The fact that he does not fight at all and he's fought in every other Avengers movie is proof to me.
You don't see it.
The absence of evidence isn't the evidence of absence.
But there is evidence in every. We're going down circles, but there is evidence in every movie that he's in that he wants to fight.
The evidence
and there's none in this one.
The evidence that I'm telling you, which you seem to be discarding, is that he is charging.
Did he throw a punch?
He connects.
No, come on. Now you're making stuff.
No, he connects. I mean, literally, the scene cuts. You see him about to fight with everyone else, and it just cuts to something else. That's to say that he disappears and doesn't throw a punch. Like, what the fuck?
They literally show Cap, Tony, Thor, all with great fights, including Scarlet Witch. With great fight scenes.
I think you're
on
mad
Hulk.
because they put Hulk on the back burner.
I mean, they did put him on the back burner, but more so than even that. Again, Hulk is known for fighting. I mean, right?
For sure.
I mean, we definitely have to agree on that.
Yeah. Well, and I for sure think that the MCU version of the Hulk was definitely neutered, and I think part of it has to do with like, listen, I don't want to be an asshole, but I'm gonna be an asshole.
Go ahead.
Was like this girl power bullshit, because they I've seen like multiple reports where they said like, oh yeah, Captain Marvel's the most powerful in the MCU. I'm like, fucking no, she's not. Thor will kick her ass, and so would the Hulk would kick her ass. Like, hands down.
Of course.
But maybe that's the reason why. I don't know.
I think it was just I think it was an editing decision to cut the time down.
So the Snyder Cut has it in there?
Oh,
That's what you're saying right now?
Have you not seen the reports? They've
I
already
don't
said
know,
that there's a
man.
bunch of.
I think it's possible as well. I think that he saying he's a pacifist is like going way too far.
Have you not seen what they're talking about on the current Blu-ray plans? Like they said, there's at least more footage of the fight.
I'm sure there is more footage of fighting.
Yeah, there's
I'm pretty sure they just cut it for time.
You talk about evidence until I see the evidence of him actually fighting. You know.
I think
I'll go with what I saw in the
I'm
movie.
pretty sure a lot of other characters' fight scenes were cut.
Maybe.
Because of time. Like there's literally articles to support this from the directors themselves saying it was a hard time for them to cut down just to 3 hours because they wanted it longer.
Sure. I'll give you that.
And they said, these are the plans for the Blu-ray. You can look it up right now. This is what you can expect. There's more footage. There's more stuff. We're going to load this up. Be ready.
We haven't even gotten through the first hour of the movie in our review.
Yeah, we're already.
we are spinning our wheels.
Yeah. We said we're going to go deep in this. So anyway, going back to the fucking film. We see Hulk. He's at the diner. Kids want to take pictures with them.
Selfies with the Hulk.
So, I mean, we have a version of the Hulk. He's basically the gray Hulk, but he's green.
He's combined, and this is 5 years later. So I am willing to suspend my disbelief in terms of he has experimented, and that there's definitely in Hulk lore.
Yes.
There's a lot of Banner experimenting, finding balance with the Hulk. I get all that, and it's 5 years later. I get all that, and this is a drastic change. It still didn't necessarily explain on the spaceship with Thanos, and then later on even on Earth with Hulk, per se, but go ahead.
So anyway, they decide to talk to Bruce about it. He says, I'm on board, but this isn't my area of expertise. Yeah. But I will help you. So he does.
Yeah.
He does, and then they kind of fuck up. Tony, after they planted the seed, he has to talk with Pepper, and Pepper's like, well, you know that you got this seed. You're not going to let this go. You're going to keep going through this.
No, stop. Before that part,
They try.
he actually goes through. Well, Iron Man actually goes through and does the models. Like
Yeah,
the
I was
actual-
just about to say.
Yeah,
that.
but you skipped ahead and said something about.
Well,
He
I
does the
stepped
models
back.
before he talks to Pepper.
Well, he does the models. Talks to Pepper. Says he solved the time travel problem.
Yep.
Meanwhile,
So-
they're trying. Ant-Man is getting turned into a baby.
And an old man.
An old man.
And a
stuff.
teenager.
Yeah, and they're trying to figure it out. It's not working so well.
They should have had just like a nut bust on the fucking
Oh. All
face
that.
screen or whatever.
Tony shows up with his brand new futuristic Audi.
Yeah,
An e-tron. That's actually a real car.
Yeah, I
They
figured
always,
it was.
They always use real cars. for
Yeah,
Tony.
but usually it's stuff that you can't buy. You gotta like order it.
Can't
years
buy
in
it
advance.
yet.
Yeah. But he talks to Cap. They kind of do kiss and make up. He brings Cap his shield and says, "Hey, I solved this. We have a time travel GPS. You know, makes a joke about Ant-Man probably pissed himself because he came back as a kid. And then they do some test runs. And then Nat goes to get Hawkeye.
Yep.
Hawkeye's fucking shit up in Taiwan or Japan or some shit.
fucking the Yakuza.
Yeah, he's fucking everybody up, cutting them up.
That would be Japan.
Yeah, he's fucking people up. Nat manages to get Hawkeye to come back with them. They come back, and then they're trying to do test runs. And then Scott fucks up.
Yeah, they get in a team together.
Yeah, they get the team together. Scott kind of fucks up, and then they run a test. They do one final test with Hawkeye. He manages to hear his daughter's voice, knowing that they can do it. They come back, and then they come up with the time heist.
Did we get to Fat Thor yet? Or did you skip that?
No, we did not.
Fat
We gotta
Thor was
talk about Fat
hilarious.
Thor.
I fucking love Fat Thor. People are mad because they're saying that people are fat shaming him.
Oh,
Like, well, he was fat.
Yeah.
go ahead.
He
We're
had
about
titties, so-
Fat Thor. They caught a recruit
Dude,
Thor.
Thor's content. Thor's like, I cut motherfucking his head off. I'm
Yep.
good. I just want to drink beer
And play Fortnite.
and play Fortnite, which I fucking died laughing.
So that was a year in the making. Remember with Fortnite when we saw the Thanos aspect of it, where he was in the game? Everybody was scratching their head like, how the fuck did they get this partnership with Epic and the MCU?
Good point, yeah.
Now we see how they got in the biggest movie in the world. The game is in the movie. That's fucking impressive.
He's what is it, Gorg or whatever?
Oh yeah, Gorgon Meek.
Yeah, he's
Meeks?
Korg.
Oh yeah, Korg. What's the
Basically
the
the
centipede?
thing.
The centipede
Space thing.
Yeah, the centipede is Meekses.
He's putting on the headset, talking to trolls on the internet.
Yeah.
Stuff
Talking to
on
squeakers.
on PSN. Or what,
Yeah.
you notice how they were playing PlayStation, right?
You know what? Fuck you, Damn.
Like, no one's
Hey.
got an Xbox.
I got both, motherfucker.
I got both too, but
Yeah.
one's in a box over there somewhere.
Yeah. So it was a hilarious, and he's just chilling, drinking beer. He's got no fucks about anything. He's like, I chopped. Did I tell you about the time I chopped off that
He's
his head?
basically the dude.
Yeah,
he's the
he
Lebowski.
literally looked like the
Yeah,
Lebowski.
the Big Lebowski. We need White Russian and everything. He's good. Which
Yeah.
is fucking
Oh.
hilarious.
Well, but hold on. They're in New
New
Asgard,
Asgard.
Yeah.
which is kind of cool. It's in Scandinavia, I believe.
and we see Valkyrie.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
Valkyrie welcomes
Oh,
Rocket and the Hulk.
She's fine
as they
as
try
fuck.
to,
Yeah. That's
they try to recruit the Hulk
Even though
or
she's-
try to get Thor.
She's gay though, right?
she's bi, I
I
thought.
think she's bi.
But she has a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Janae?
Janelle Monáe.
Yeah.
So definitely that much more unattainable for me. Even though I had no chance anyway because I'm fucking ugly. But it's all right.
All right.
Could go both ways.
So we get Fat Thor drinking, gaming,
Yeah, he's just like, I got no. I'm good.
and
Can't
then
convince
But
him.
he's having his own issues. He's breaking down too when really
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about it.
Yeah, because he's mad. He should have fucking killed it to begin with. But
First
he's
time,
he's sort of covering his feelings. Reminds me of that meme where he's crying, but you put the face over the.
Yeah. I'll give credit, man. Chris Hemsworth. This is that Chris, right? He actually did a pretty good job acting wise in the first two Thor movies. I wasn't on board.
Well,
Ragnarok and these two, I'm impressed.
You heard about he almost quit being Thor.
Yeah.
Right? Because he didn't like the way they were portraying Thor, and he didn't like the way he was acting. But then once that new director, I forget the guy's name.
Takiki
Wakiti,
Wakawiki
There
Wiki.
we go.
yeah.
He was like, all right, I'm back on board.
Yeah.
So, and it's he seems way more comfortable in that role.
Yeah, with a little bit of humor rather than the Shakespearean "I must act"
Yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah.
Him, he does really good sort of comedy with his one-liners that he drops, and just he's a really good actor.
Yeah,
and
it was
everything.
the best is Rocket luring Thor onto the ship with beer.
Those two are fucking hilarious together.
That was great.
Such a good pairing.
He makes a better Guardian of the Galaxy than Peter Quill. I'll say it.
Oh, sure.
I want Thor in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Oh yeah.
good.
But
Well, he'd probably be in there because
Yeah.
he's the captain apparently.
Yeah.
that part was so good too.
I'm so down for
we're
it. now.
jumping the gun. So yeah. So they get Thor. They bring him back. They build the time heist. They take the plan. They have 6 stones. and they know what time and what part to get them. So there's 3 in New York, 1 on Vormir, 1 on Gorog or whatever, Gorg, whatever.
Yeah, they need to figure. Pretty much the plan is to get the stones, and they only have 6 pin particles at the time, so they're trying to figure out when they were at the same.
Well, remember what he just said. There's a serious plot hole that's going to come up that I'll bring up later on in the movie.
All right.
That nobody has yet to explain to me.
Time travel plot hole?
Yes, the time travel plot hole.
So I think this is. I don't know if it's stretched, but I think it's a very big possibility. But we'll get to it when we come to it.
It's not even a stretch. I thought about it, and I even talked to another nerd. And he was trying to explain it to me. I was like, "No, you're wrong."
Damn.
That's fine.
All right, they're
This is
going back in
hilarious.
time. They're getting the DeLorean.
This reminds me of the Arya argument that we have factual evidence on how time travel is supposed to work now. We're like, no, it doesn't happen like that.
Yeah.
So they figure out. All right, they come up with a game plan to figure out where the stones are at what piece of time. Oh, 3 were in New York at this time, and so which is really cool because I had no idea where this movie was going.
Yeah, I love this whole portion of the movie
Yeah.
where they're just we're gonna basically go through all the other movies.
Yep.
Yes.
And that was really cool, but they were very specific that everybody had 2 pin particles.
Yep.
All right, 1 to get there and 1 to get back.
No mess ups.
Very fucking specific.
No mess ups.
All right, so just keep that in mind when I come to the plot hole.
Okay. So they figure out wherever that they need to go. They team up. They form their nice little squads. The Black Widow and I get the names of the planets mixed up, but Black Widow and Hawkeye are supposed to go get the Soul Stone.
Yeah.
They got Rocket and Thor are going to
Get the
Thorland
ether.
to get the ether.
Asgard.
Then we got Cap and Tony and Ant-Man
Yeah.
going to get
And Hulk.
Yeah, go. Oh yeah,
And Hulk, yeah.
and Hulk going to New York, and then Nebula and War Machine
They go
are
to
going to get
The Guardians planet.
Guardians
Space Stone or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
So they're like, all right, put hands in together. Avengers assemble.
Wait, but
Hmm?
I'm thinking it was Nebula and
War
War
Machine.
Machine?
War Machine. They went back together with 2 other people.
Yeah, they went with they
It was
started
the
on
same
one
time
planet
period.
and then they separated. So
Yeah,
it
but it
was War Machine, Nebula, and then Black Widow and Hawkeye.
That's what it was.
They
Yeah,
started
yeah.
together.
They're at the same time.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they took Rocket's ship with them, and then
Yes.
they enlarged it when they landed, and they kept the little capsule
Yeah.
for War Machine and Nebula, and the other 2 took
Which is
the
important
capital
to my plot hole theory because it's a serious plot hole.
So they go to wherever they need to go. We see Peter Quill dancing with his headphones on. He gets punched in the head or whatever,
Yeah.
which is hilarious because we start to go back into how it happened in the movies and shit. And it's so funny because during the movie when we watch it, he's jamming out to is it "Come and Get Your Love" or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously that you can't hear it because he's got his headphones on, so he's just dancing like a fucking idiot.
Again.
And he gets punched in the head or whatever. I forget how they knocked him out, but they get that one. Like, all right, good to go and everything. They go to New York, which is hilarious because
Right during the Avengers.
during the fucking craziness going on, you see the old team and they got their backs together and fucking doing the whole 360 pan
Yep.
thing and stuff. So
Against Loki. and all
yeah,
that.
really, really nostalgic and everything. And they're like, all right, let's go. Try not to get seen, blah, 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 blah. And you see Hulk kind of ashamed of how fucking crazy he's acting, which was cracked me up. And he's like, tries to sort of fit in and kind of flip over her car and shake some stuff.
Fake smashing.
Yeah.
Yes. So, well, I guess we'll stick on that time.
Well, I'm sorry. One quick. Let me just interject. 'Cause we're going through the whole movie and whatnot. I got to take a pause and just say, Nebula knocked this fucking out of the park for me. I was impressed by Nebula, Karen Gillan, in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. In this movie, this chick can act. After Robert Downey Jr., she might be the best actress or actor in the MCU. And that's saying something. That's how much I was impressed by her in this movie. She was strong.
How?
She was strong, but
How? Did we watch the same movie? Did you see Nebula bring that performance? Really?
I mean,
you didn't feel
she's
it?
an important part of the plot because she essentially she becomes the curveball.
she becomes a
Yeah,
liability.
I'm just saying
Yeah.
from an acting standpoint, I felt for her. I was like, wow, I really care what happens with her. Good Nebula, bad Nebula. Karen Gillan impressed me more than I was ready to admit prior to watching this movie. I'm just saying that. Yeah, I guess y'all weren't impressed, but that's fine.
I wasn't
She's
like
a
super.
good actress, but it wasn't
I thought
like
she was
she
impressive.
didn't really blow me away. I mean,
I wasn't blown away.
obviously, she was a huge part of the plot, which I don't think very many people. Well, I didn't expect coming.
For me, I felt a stronger performance from Chris Hemsworth than Karen.
I agree.
Because I felt like he
comedic, but
he
alright.
went through. He was comedic, but he had a lot of ups and downs. Like he had to basically get his mojo back.
I felt for him.
And
yeah.
this happens when he meets his mom.
Yes, I was about to
When
say.
he
like
goes
that
in the
scene.
past.
I like
So
that
we go to the scene from Thor: The Dark World, and what tripped me out is Natalie Portman is back.
She wasn't
We
back.
see her as Jane because if you were.
Hold on. What did you say, Stitch?
She wasn't back because they
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we see her.
they took old footage of
She's
her
got a lot of stuff.
and
But she showed up to the premiere.
They-
I was like, what the fuck is she doing there?
She bought a ticket.
Yes. You paid $12. You know.
Yeah, she wasn't because they said I guess they just used her old footage from the
You
other
can't-
thing.
You can't use her old footage without her permission, though.
Fuck you think Disney
Yeah.
is Disney doing?
They own the rights.
They own the
the
rights.
fuck?
Yeah,
You know how movies are made?
she cashed that check. They can do whatever they want to. Yeah, so she was there, but not really.
I mean, you didn't see nothing too new, but yeah. We still see Jane.
Okay.
Yeah, all right, fine.
Yeah. So we see a lot of crazy funniness going on. My issue with my understanding of time is that two things can't occupy the same space at the same time. So
they explain it in the movie though,
I don't
not
understand
true.
how Captain can punch Captain without.
because it's not true. You're thinking of time cop bullshit.
Yeah.
It's not true at all.
Back to the Future.
Yeah.
yeah.
I forget. I need rules written down for time travel again.
They
Yeah,
tried,
I guess
they
so.
tried to explain
They
it.
tried to.
Yeah, they tried to explain it. So as far as like the whole quantum theory goes, listen, if you go back in time and do anything, that splits up a whole new timeline.
And they explained that.
Yeah, they explain it in the movie.
I explained it at
We are,
least 3 times.
we are dealing with mythological fucking science fiction.
Metaphor.
There's no rules to this, but so
Yeah, I mean, technically, they can make up whatever fucking rules they
Well, no,
want.
I mean, if you think about it, listen, if you're thinking about just like atoms in general and the way that time works, if you were to go back in time and do anything, just if you exist in that time frame,
There's
it's going to change
consequences.
everything around you.
right.
Yeah.
So for you to say that if I touch somebody, they're just going to fall apart, it'd be ridiculous because you would have changed everything. You would not have the same atoms. You wouldn't have the same anything. You'd be the same person, but you'd still be different.
They drew a diagram, a
Yeah.
stick figure diagram almost, in this movie, literally about the timeline. Old girl from the Ancient One said, "This is our timeline."
Yeah, and
you know what I mean?
and when you do
These
this,
are the branches.
this is gonna fuck up.
I mean, that's at least
Oh,
to me they set up that rule.
I forgot to mention Hulk goes into that
Yeah,
timeline.
Well, that's exactly
Which-
what he does. He
that
sees the ancient one.
That was a problem for me because if she would have knocked Banner out of Hulk's body, the Hulk would have still remained and went. It would have been the Hulk in
Full Hulk.
Full Hulk. Yeah,
rage.
and I don't think she would have been able to stop that.
But wasn't I need to maybe re-see that scene, but I thought he was unconscious.
He
though.
was.
Didn't she put the Hulk unconscious with the push
well,
too?
no, she just pushed his soul out.
Yeah, she
right?
pushes
But-
astral whatever.
Yeah, but
But the body fell though, right?
Yeah, the body
yeah,
falls.
But the problem is though is that in Bruce Banner, there are multiple versions of the Hulk. There's like he actually has multiple personalities in his head.
Yeah, I get it.
If you to just push Banner out doesn't mean much. Like
I hear you.
the Hulk will remain.
Yeah.
I just thought he was
I don't think the
concussed.
MCU's
But it's
at that
okay.
point yet.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Because we've seen Hulk get knocked the fuck out.
I mean,
That's true.
It has happened in these MCU movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not denying it.
So
I mean, the Hulk can get knocked out, but as far as like pushing a consciousness out of a body, for
It
the
should be Hulk.
It would just be just the Hulk.
Yeah.
And if you knock the Hulk out, there's another person. There's actually multiple ones. There's not just the Green Hulk. There's a whole bunch of other ones.
Yeah. The only thing I'll say is we haven't gotten deep into that mythology
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
movies.
That's
why-
why I let it go.
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, yeah, I don't think everyone's ready for that. There's just not enough time in this movie, and we're already taking up time.
Go ahead.
But yeah, so she knocks him out. So Banner, his astral form, has to convince the Ancient One to give up the Time Stone.
Yeah.
While the rest of the team is trying to secure the Mind Stone and the Tesseract.
When they thought it was going to be with Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah, it turned out to be with the
Doctor Strange. It wasn't. She hadn't given it to Strange at that point.
Yeah, she said they're 5 years
too
early.
Yeah.
So he somehow he
says that he gave it to her. She was like, "Oh shit!" Well,
something
he gave
must
it to her.
happen.
Something makes sense, I guess. That there's a reason.
So then, while they're trying to
She's
secure,
all, I guess it makes sense that I ain't Asian. So
yeah, god
fuck
dang.
it.
So when they're
Time
trying
stone.
to secure the Tesseract, they fuck up, and Hulk makes Tony drop the case that has it. Loki gets his hands on it and takes off. He disappears.
Through a portal.
Opens a portal, takes off.
Yeah,
Go.
fakes heart attack. They use the hammer as a defibrillator.
Yep.
All kinds of crazy shit.
And so their time.
Hulk's got to take the stairs.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean their plan's fucked.
Yeah.
So Tony comes up with a new plan on the fly, and they're like, "We need to go back to the 70s
Yes. So
and
they use
get
the
more
second.
Pym particles
They use their second Pym particle
to go further back in time."
to get the
The
Tesseract
Tesseract.
and then more Pym particles.
Is this where you wanted to get into the
No, not yet.
the hole?
It is, but I think they're missing I think the movie is missing a very important scene.
Which is?
So we'll get into it in a little bit, but when Captain America gets the Pym particles, he grabs 4.
He does.
Mm-hmm. That
And
sounds right.
Okay, so just remember that, I guess, later on in the podcast.
Okay.
It's 1 per capsule, right? Just to make sure I'm clear.
Yeah, 4 sounded
Yes.
about right.
Yeah, he
It's
grabs
1 per
4.
capsule.
He-
and-
I was like, "What? Just grab all 6
Yes,
of them."
and again, they're very clear that if they all had 2 Pym particles, one to get back in time and one to come forward in time.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Everyone has one.
Okay.
And they had two, and they had 2 test ones, which they both
No.
used. Yes,
Oh,
they had.
no.
They had 2 test
Yeah,
ones.
they had two.
One
One
Ant-Man fucked up. The second one, Hawkeye used.
Right, but that was only the 2 test ones was only for the one person.
Well, they used it on 2 people.
Right. I just don't want people to seem like everybody had 2 test ones.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
no.
Good point.
No. They had 2 test ones overall.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, going back. So they do the thing. They go to the 70s. Stark runs into his dad while he's still in the Tesseract.
Great fucking scene.
It was good, and they managed to bring the actor that played Howard Stark in like the 90s and whatnot.
They also acknowledge Jarvis.
Yes,
Which they tie
from
the
the
TV.
from the Agent Carter series. They
But
brought in Jarvis.
we've never seen Tony and his dad other than that one hologram
Yes.
thing in what was that, Civil War?
And when he crashed,
It is Civil War.
when they crashed and died, right?
Tony wasn't there though.
Yeah.
So
when was Tony
technically, he wasn't there, but yeah.
there? I don't think. Yeah, I'm just saying. I don't
I
think
thought
we.
you were
Had,
talking about the actor.
oh
No.
I'm talking about I don't think that Tony and his dad. We've
Never
seen a
interacted.
scene
Yeah,
together.
face to
yeah.
face, and Tony was distant from
Well,
his
no,
dad.
I'm sorry. Yes, you have.
When?
There was one was like a hologram, right? Is that what you guys talking
Yeah,
about?
that's what
yeah,
we're
that's
talking
yeah,
about.
but
Yeah.
that's fake. I mean,
Yeah, that's
was
the
a-
only-
It was a
He says that's the last memory of his dad.
yeah.
We're talking about pretend stuff anyway, so.
Yeah.
The AR scene was fine.
Yeah. And then we get Cap. He gets to see Peggy Carter in
Yeah.
the 70s with all her titty meat.
Yeah.
She always had titty meat.
I know.
40s, 50s.
I just
don't
miss
matter.
I just miss it though, because she got some major, and she has anime titties.
Yes, she does.
Anime.
All kind of thickness.
Ooh man.
So they get all that stuff that they need. They get out of town. He gives his dad
pep
inspirational
talk.
message or whatever about like all the money, can't buy time or whatever the fuck he said.
But he literally did.
He did by time.
That was
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Play on words.
So they make it back out
Well,
unscathed.
we got to jump to everyone else because they
Yeah,
complete their mission.
yeah, they're good. Then we go to Thor sees his mom. Mom gives him a pep talk. I know you're not real Thor. I'm a
Great
witch.
scene.
Blah blah blah. But
She
I trust
revitalized
you.
him. Yep.
Yeah, he gets him. She sort of shakes him straight.
I want credit though. Rocket revitalized him with that fucking bitch slap too.
Oh yeah.
he
for
fucking
sure.
set him straight. Like, get your fucking shit together. We got a job to do.
I love the way.
No, he did not.
Rocket did.
Well, no,
Oh,
because
yeah.
he runs again. Because
He
he
didn't do
literally
shit.
said, "Yeah."
no, I'm
he-
saying Rocket slapped him and said, "Hey, get your shit together."
So for sure he slapped him. For sure he said that, but
Yeah.
he didn't get his shit together.
No.
Oh,
he
I
didn't.
mean,
He
he's still a
literally
mess.
did.
Yeah.
He literally did exactly.
vanished.
Yeah,
what
he's still a mess.
he
You're
does,
right.
right.
You're right. He's still an absolute mess. He tried.
He tried, but I mean, I got to give Rocky credit though. He slapped the shit out of him.
Absolutely.
You should have shot him.
Oh shit! So we see Rocket has to do the dirty work because he was supposed to
runs
charm.
in.
He was supposed to charm Jane, get her distracted while he extracts the ether. But Rocket does it on his own, and then he gets caught. Well, he gets chased by Asgardian guards,
Yeah.
and they call him a rabbit. If anyone ever caught
love
that,
that.
shit was hella funny.
Called him a rabbit, a Build-A-Bear. They were all kind of shit.
Trash panda.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So they make it out okay.
Thor steals Mjolnir from himself.
Yes.
Love that.
Yes.
So I
gives
was like,
them
It's
a-
weird,
It
but,
is weird,
but I love
Yeah.
it.
It worked out.
Then we go to Soulstone Planet, where
So I knew, like, right when they said that we're gonna go to Vormir, I was like, "When are y'all ain't coming back?" Like, did y'all not understand how the fuck they got the Soul Stone?
They
They
didn't.
They didn't,
They
but-
didn't.
They-
No
yeah.
idea.
no idea. Yeah, they didn't because it was only Gamora.
And Thanos.
What? No, and Nebula knew too. Why the fuck didn't Nebula tell them?
Nebula told them that Thanos murdered her sister there, but Nebula was not there, so she doesn't know about Red Skull being there, and she doesn't know how it works.
I think she knew how it worked.
I don't think she did. But anyway, that's
I don't know because she definitely wasn't there. It was just Gamora and Thanos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she, even in Infinity War, she said they went to Vormir together. He's the only one that came back, so obviously he didn't fucking
Thanos
know.
was the one that broke the news that like, I killed her, and Star-Lord was like, no, and then I think she was like, yeah, he ain't. He ain't
he
lying.
don't lie.
I
Yeah.
could have sworn even in this movie, she talked about
how he murdered her, but
for the stone.
she doesn't know how or why.
But still, if
Future Gamora.
you probably should have warned them that, hey, the way that he got the stone was murdering somebody. That was kind of weird to me. I
What-
guess
what-
fuck him.
She says that
Nebula
he-
has a great. She's kind of in the middle in terms of she's not all good, she's not all bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think she knew that they would have to sacrifice each other.
She knew that he murdered her for the stone, because that's how when she's talking to me, he's like, oh, do you know how he get what he does to you?
Yeah,
and stuff
yeah.
like that. But I don't think, my understanding, she doesn't know that. Yeah,
exact
He needs to
specifics.
throw her in, and then when you throw somebody in, you get it back or whatever.
Yeah, I don't think she knows that.
you just assume that there was some sort of death and whatever. Got it.
He's Thanos.
Yeah.
But then yeah, once I see them both there, I'm like, wait a minute, one of these motherfuckers gonna have to die or whatever. I was late on that until I actually physically saw them on a planet.
I was
oh,
too.
shit.
I saw it a mile away in terms of Hawkeye. We just had a connection with the whole thing with his family in this movie, which we haven't seen since Ultron. So I knew it was going to be Black Widow.
I thought it was
I
gonna
thought
be
it'd be
Hawkeye.
Clint. I was like, Clint ain't
We
gonna
knew
make it.
we knew a Black Widow movie was coming.
Yeah,
I was like, that's why they tried to get us all in the fields with Clint and his family and everything.
yeah. We also know there's a Hawkeye series on Disney Plus, and I'm like, well, maybe this will be a flashback.
Yeah, but they're also saying there's gonna be a fucking Black Widow movie.
Yeah,
so.
which starts filming next month. So,
and
or this month.
But to be
really.
honest, I mean, she doesn't have to be dead. I mean,
both.
wait, from this movie?
yeah.
Oh no! I
think
strongly
she
disagree.
done.
They really discussed this in detail at the end.
Indeed, like the Gamora and Black Widow are
well-
gone.
Well,
So I
Hulk.
strongly disagree to your disagreement.
but Hulk said when he had the Tony's Infinity Gauntlet glove on,
Said he tried.
he said he tried to bring her back.
Yeah.
But where's
that's
the wiggle room?
because she's stuck in the Soul Stone. People that die for that sacrifice of the Soul Stone are usually stuck in the Soul Stone.
And they can't come back.
And how do you come back though?
Adam Warlock.
You have to use it. You have to use the Soul Stone to bring them back.
I won't be surprised if Adam Warlock brings both of them.
But hold on, I'm sorry. But again, we've had people with the Soul Stone try.
Yeah,
who
but
weren't-
they don't understand. None of them understand how the Infinity Stones work. None of them.
No, wait a minute. Hulk literally used it to reverse the snap. How do you mean he doesn't understand it?
No, I mean he understands the snap to reverse what Thanos did, but he doesn't understand like that the Soul Stone literally steals souls and puts them in the stones. So if you just say, "I want to bring all the people that Thanos killed back," snap. Yeah, it'd bring everybody that Thanos killed back, but obviously Thanos didn't kill Black Widow.
But
She's
he
stuck
killed
in the Soul Stone.
He killed
But he-
Gamora though.
But he specifically had a dialogue in here talking about how he tried to use the Infinity Gauntlet, which has all stones,
Right.
to bring specifically Black Widow
'Cause I-
back.
But she's not in reality. She's in the stone.
I thought she would be brought back, but when
I thought
Hawkeye was like
Nope.
screaming, he's like, "No, motherfucker!" The dude with the fucking skull face said, "No, she ain't coming back," or whatever.
Well-
and Hulk was like, "What do you mean?"
So
Or
this
whatever.
literally happens in the comics with Gamora.
Yeah, no, I hear
Where
you.
half her soul is stuck in the fucking stone.
I hear you completely. I'm just saying for these movies,
I don't think she's coming
they
back.
didn't leave a whole lot of wiggle room in terms of the dialogue that Hulk said when he had all of them.
But I see where Cronus is coming from. I can see this later on with another Galaxy movie or whatever, where they get Adam Warlock and manage to he was searching for Gamora. I'm jumping ahead, but they may end up going to the Soul World and pull both of them.
I would
out.
have figured that would
could happen.
I would figured that would have been the case, and that would make perfect good sense. Except that when Cap went to return the stones, she ain't come back.
She
Well,
ain't come back.
but you also don't know what happened
We don't.
in that whole time when you return
We
the
sure
stones. 'Cause
fucking don't.
there's a few things that happen that are of note in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Like, first of all, you're missing Mjolnir. Obviously, you gave it back to like, I guess, reconnect the timeline. He has Mjolnir,
He took Mjolnir with
and
him.
now it's gone. And then also, what happens with Steve with his life with Agent Carter? There's like a whole bunch of shit that we don't know about. when
Yeah, because he could have had kids. He could have had
Yeah.
4 or 5 kids with her. I would have.
Yeah,
But I would just think that
we'll get to that.
logically, it would just be the perfect sense to at least, okay, here's the thing, but I'm gonna put it right back where I took it from. So if I put it back where I took it from, then essentially that.
Well, they're trying to preserve the timeline as well as they can. So
Yep.
then, for him to use the Soul Stone to try and get her back, he probably doesn't know how to use it first of all to begin with,
I doubt it.
and then second of all, he doesn't want to fuck up the timelines even more
But he's
It's true.
But he does
He-
fuck up the time.
because he's fucking somebody in the timeline. I got it,
Oh.
but it's
He sure is. I mean,
he's erasing people who. Remember, Peggy had a family and kids.
Yes.
No, I don't think she had kids. She
Yes.
did get married.
Yes, she fucking did.
Who's her kid?
Her descendant is in.
That's her niece, not her kid.
No, but she has.
She had a family.
She had a
everything
family.
was
I,
discussed
but
in,
Prodigy. The important question is, did her husband at that timeline have helicopter arms?
there you go. I mean, yeah.
If the answer is no, then well, there you go.
Yeah, I
He's
mean,
way
all
more
I'm saying is
important.
Captain America made a very, at least in my opinion, non-sacrificial traditional Cap decision in that last scene that left me kind of like, whoa, you know.
Well,
But
He
first
went
of
for
all,
the
I
love
mean,
of his life.
He deserves to be happy, but you're right. That's not what Captain America would usually do. He would sacrifice himself.
yeah, and remember, he has the knowledge that Shield gets infiltrated. He has the knowledge that there's going to be a New York invasion and Sokovia and all these other things.
Yeah.
You know, and he's chilling
going-
with his
Yeah,
wife.
chilling with his wife because there's probably another
So,
Cap.
and that also messes up their whole. This is where you get fucked up with time.
Yep,
Because if we're talking about every single timeline, if you change anything, it changes to a different branch.
absolutely.
Then he would have never ended up on that fucking bench
Yeah.
in front of those same people. It would have been impossible.
Can I ask you this? So, did he? I know we're going way to the end. Did he use his Pym thing to come back, or did he just live out his time from
He
back
lived his-
then?
he lived his time.
That's what I thought. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I
And
was on
that-
the same page.
And that's why it's impossible.
yeah, because he got old.
I really like the part where he did the Hell Hydra thing. To get
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Him fighting against
I
himself
was like,
was great.
I was hyped up. I was like, oh shit, we're gonna get another elevator scene. Except I was so hyped for that, and then the way that they ended up doing it, I was like, oh, that's perfect. Great.
That was perfect. Sorry. So we get the Soul Stone. Nat's gone. Bloody at the bottom of the pit. Hawkeye gets his Soul Stone, and then who do we have left?
Real quick on that one. I preferred the scene with Thanos in the Soul Stone because it was a first time seeing it. Obviously, I don't know this
Here we
one.
go.
This one, I saw Black Widow being the one. You know, right when they got to the planet. I mean, it was for me. It felt
50-50. So I mean,
but it felt a little bit. Yeah, and we've seen it before.
we
again.
know how it works.
Well, we know how it works.
That's what I'm saying. The first time I thought was more effective.
Well, but you also saw the way other shit worked too in the movie, so why don't you criticize all that too?
Well, because we're talking about this specific scene.
I mean,
I
dude,
will get to that some of that. But
The other stones were in motion, right? This is always in the same spot with the same Guardian.
was this as effective a scene as what you saw with Thanos and Gamora? That's all I'm saying.
I
thing is
felt
no.
I felt so. Yes,
I thought it was
because Nat's been in the MCU since Iron Man 2. Gamora's been in it way less. I care more about Nat than Gamora.
I thought it was more significant.
Wow.
Than,
Especially-
because listen, I mean, we're both Thanos fans, right? I didn't give a shit about Gamora.
Yeah.
I didn't give a shit about Gamora's connection to Thanos.
Yep.
In the movies, I give a shit way more about the connection between Hawkeye and Black Widow. Because there were ones that went through the fucking dirt. They have no real superpowers.
True.
They both knew each other for a very long fucking period of time. You know what I mean? It wasn't somebody that had some weird villain fucking motive. They're both heroes that were trying to redeem themselves. Thanos was not.
Even Cap and Black Widow, they got history together.
No, she has history. She's been in the MCU for a long time. I'm not debating that at all.
I figured you would have been the two things that happened in this movie. I figured you would have had a fat erection. One, Black Widow dies, and two, Captain Marvel gets knocked into
So
orbit.
you're thinking about his erection?
No, I figured that he
Where?
would have been happy about this.
I'm just saying.
Because you did kind of shit on this.
How am I shitting?
Hold on, where are my receipts?
Where's the shitting? We're discussing the movie.
Yeah, we are. Hold on. Keep going.
I really thought Hawkeye was going to be the one and everything. And because I was like, okay, obviously one of the major heavy hitters is not going to die at this point.
But it actually makes more sense that Black Widow does.
Yeah, looking back on it, it does. But
She doesn't have a family. She has a fucking nobody.
yeah,
The family aspect alone. That was my biggest clue. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, she's gone.
Yeah, well, I thought they humanized Hawkeye at the beginning to make us really care, rather than be like, oh, well, fuck it, we haven't seen this dude, and he wasn't in Infinity War. We haven't seen him since Ultron.
And don't forget with Nat. I mean, yes, she doesn't have a family. They still kind of never made that reconnection of her and Hulk either. You know what I mean? Or her and Bruce. So in terms of like a love interest or whatever.
Well, I mean, they didn't really need to because he was gone, right?
Yeah, but when he comes back, there's still nothing. That's what I'm saying. She truly is.
Well-
to your point, she's an Avenger, and there's in terms of there's no romantic. Well, hold on, there's no romantic relationships that you see on screen, and there's no family. That's all I'm saying.
She reconnected with him in Infinity War.
Not at a
really.
romantic
Not
level
a romantic
at all.
They hadn't seen each other in a while, which has been years, but they still
Am I
reconnected.
speaking English? So I'm saying there wasn't a romantic connection. You're like, no. What the
No,
fuck?
yeah, no, but you were saying I heard just connection at all in this film.
There's about as much of a connection as when she re-sees any other Avenger, and there's nothing special about her and Hulk or her and Bruce after Age of Ultron. That's all I'm saying.
Well, yeah, but to be fair though, it was 5 years later. They haven't seen each other in 5 years, basically.
Yeah.
That's what I got the gist.
Wait, didn't they see? No, maybe they didn't. Okay, I thought they saw each other in Infinity War. But
Well,
They
no,
do,
no.
yes, they
I'm
do.
talking about the time jump. They say
Yeah.
5 years later.
oh yeah.
And obviously they didn't see each other in 5 fucking years.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but that's it.
Which is
Natasha's
weird.
alone.
So they get everything. They all come back. They realize Nat's gone. They're sad.
Oh, we're
whatever.
missing something.
What's that?
Nebula
this.
becomes a
Oh, yeah,
liability.
Nebula gets captured.
Love it.
Um,
Double agent.
Yeah. So one version of Nebula. So this is what
the timelines
yeah. So this is what happens where Cronus is going to bring up in a second. There's a part where the younger Nebula, the past Nebula, takes the place of the current Nebula. She starts taking her apart. She also takes the Pym particles and presents it to Thanos. So we don't see what happens after that, but she puts on the current Nebula's plates and says, how do I look?
he gets into the?
I'm assuming that's how he does.
This
but
is the plot hole. The plot hole's beginning right now.
yeah. So we don't know. I mentioned to Kronos that if Nebula gave the Pym particles to Thanos, I believe that they replicated the Pym particles. We don't see it on camera, but I think with all the tech that they had, because they were able to detect that there's two different time-displaced nebulas.
So, Old Ninja, I ain't speculating. I'm watching the movie as they put the movie. And so, I can't. If they would have replicated it, that'd have been fine. But I highly doubt. They didn't in the movie.
In the movie, that we did not
They
see
didn't do it.
No.
So, the problem is that in the movie, there's a huge plot hole where the past Nebula comes back into the future as the fake Nebula.
Yep.
And then they have a meeting. And then as they're trying to do what the fuck are they trying to do?
They're building
They're
a new
firing
gauntlet.
up the gauntlet.
They're trying to do the new gauntlet, and all of a sudden she goes back to the machine, and then she types in some commands, and all of a sudden she brings the Thanos' ship from the past into the future. But that should have been impossible because there's no Pym particles.
I get you.
That's a huge plot hole.
So the bad past Nebula
She
at
opens up
no
the-
point in time interacts with the PIM particles?
No,
Is that-
she
doesn't-
does, but
She
she only
does.
has one. She only
There's
has
one vial, which she gives to Thanos,
She
which
gives-
we see.
Yeah, she definitely gives to Thanos, but there's only one PIM particle.
So I say from there they
I'm
replicate.
sorry, can I ask a real quick question? It sounds like you were alluding to Thanos using the PIM particle prior,
His
You would have had
minions.
to of some sort.
I'm
and then
pretty
Nebula's
sure.
on the receiving end without a PIM particle? Is that
No.
So what happens is, the past Nebula uses the future Nebula's PIM particle
Yeah.
to go to the future,
Yeah.
and then after she goes to the future,
Yeah.
she types in commands into the thing,
Machine.
the machine,
the
and then
quantum
brings
whatever.
forward this entire giant machine
ship.
of his ship into the future. And it's like that should have been impossible because they don't have any PIM particles or any other way to interface with that machine to travel through time.
Oh, you think they need PIM particles on the receiving end of that
Yes.
timeline?
Yes.
Okay.
And I was saying I alluded that they must have replicated it if she
But-
gave it to him.
But that was
don't
on the
see
movie.
it.
But we don't see it. We do not see that at all.
Don't see Hulk fighting either.
Yeah. So for me, that was like a huge plot. Like when I watched it, I was like, how did they get to the future? And then today I went to the comic shop, and the three of us that were there, we were talking about it. And this one guy was trying to explain it away, and I was like, no, none of that should happen. Like,
It didn't happen on screen.
None of that should happen.
Was he
It's like-
speculating?
Yeah, I was just like, dude, he just like literally came and like just appeared in the future somehow, but they never explained how the fuck they did it. So that's a big plot hole, but
And he doesn't have the time stone.
No, he has no
there's
stones.
no way for him to like traverse time like that.
Supposedly, when I'm seeing I guess the Russos explain that Maw reverse engineered the PIM particle.
They gotta put that in the movie.
But they did. Yeah, we don't see this.
Yeah,
And that's the
maybe,
only.
maybe that's something on the cutting room floor. I don't know, but
That's the
yeah,
only
maybe it's
person-
something that should have been.
That's the only person I can see that would replicate the PIM particles, and for them to come to the future. That's the only way that works.
Uncle
But we
Mom,
don't
he's
see
a
that,
born wizard.
and they don't even talk about it.
Yeah, they said Thanos and Maw are brilliant geniuses. These two easily reverse engineered and mass produced PIM particles.
They are geniuses, but
At least
still,
say it. Give us 30 seconds to
Yeah, just a quick
make the
explanation.
movie 3 minutes,
Yeah.
3 hours, 1 minute,
All
30 seconds.
all they needed to do is have Thanos give this to Maul and like make me more of this, and then that would solve that problem. Easy.
In which case, that puts in another fucking problem with the movie. Because if they could just reproduce the PIM particles, why not just fucking go forward in time and get the fucking Infinity Gauntlet?
Yep.
Why would you stop and have a fucking battle they could possibly lose, which they did? So
Go back, go forward.
If he
Yeah,
goes for,
you can go anywhere.
yeah,
Well, he
you
knows
go
that he-
forward to when he has the gauntlet and then just stop him from getting killed.
well, he already knows that he has the gauntlet, and he doesn't care about him getting. He watches himself die, so he's like that's destiny complete.
Yeah, but he knows there's also a possibility from them from them reversing what they did.
So that's why he
So-
went forward in time to prevent them.
No, you should go forward in time to get all the fucking pieces that you need.
If that's what your goal is,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like why the fuck would you want to fight them on sort of even terms? You could just get the gauntlet that can give you the power of the cosmos. That makes no sense.
Probably because he thought I fucked him up easy.
Maybe.
Let's
He
get.
didn't. He didn't though.
Yeah,
He
he
fucked
really
up
did.
easy with the Infinity Stones.
Yeah.
So
Let's get to some of this fight.
yeah, the big battle. So
It was a good ass fight. The first,
they
well,
put the
first one
gauntlet
before-
on. Hulk does the snap. He fucks up his arm. They go to test. They want to see what's
well,
going
as soon as
on.
he snaps, because they do the bunker. They bunker it down.
Well, hold on. The Hulk snap is to bring everybody back.
Yeah, Hulk snap brings everybody.
And they plot line this shit away saying that it's mostly gamma rays, so I can use it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I mean, a normal human cannot use the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
So I think it's Captain America and a few other people that are human can use it, but
Yeah.
it's very few people.
Yeah, I don't think we would have bought. I think it would have been a hard pill to swallow for just movie watchers to assume that Captain America could have survived the snapping.
Yeah.
But he can.
For just movie.
Yeah, but movie wise,
Yeah.
yeah. Comics are one thing. Movie wise, yeah, I'm with you. on that.
Because they were just like, it was either at that point it was either Thor
or Hulk.
or
Or
fucking Hulk. And they're like, Thor, you still fucking drunk.
You still drunk.
You need to chill out.
Which to me, I'm like, you're expendable.
Yeah,
But he might fuck up and turn everybody into toads or some shit.
yeah. Who knows?
So then Thanos' ship's in like
Yeah.
low orbit
Yeah.
or whatever, starts fucking up the Avengers.
Fire
fucking hot out.
photons.
fucking them up. He levels that whole spot.
Yeah, that was fucking kaboom. I don't know how Hawkeye survived that.
Yeah, no shit.
I
He's a
understand
ninja.
because he was outside. He wasn't outside, right?
No, that was Ant-Man.
Ant-Man was another one shouldn't have survived that
Ant-Man
shit.
took it to the face.
Yeah,
Shrunk down though.
He shrunk though.
Hulk was holding up the fucking the building.
Half the building.
Yeah, and Raccoon was almost drowning.
Yeah. Fucking War Machine's suit was fucked.
Yeah, and then
Hold on. Before you keep going, I want to talk about kind of an important portion of this movie that
What's
I
up?
think that. So we always talk about, well, people talk about, not us, about representation in movies. There's a part in this movie that I think a lot of people might have just like overlooked,
Which was?
and it's a part where Rhodey and Nebula go back in time, and Rhodey makes a comment about how basically they're both disabled.
Yes, I remember
Oh,
that.
yeah,
Because
yes.
they are.
Yeah.
And I think that not enough people understand like the significance of that. It was just like you had basically two disabled superheroes in the movie at the same time on the same fucking team.
Yeah,
I thought
there you go.
that was really cool.
And they both make the distinction that they were not always like that.
Yeah, that's what
Nebula
I'm- yeah.
does, and then I think Rhodey kind of alludes that they started out quote unquote normal, and then they went through some shit.
Yep.
Yeah, and they don't even explain. So with Nebula, you got to go through like I said, the book of Thanos is like it fills in a lot of blanks of like why Nebula is like this in the movies, especially.
Mhm.
So basically, in the MCU, the reason why Nebula is basically a fucking cyborg is because first Thanos gets Gamora to be basically like his child.
Yeah.
And then he sees that Gamora's growing up and she needs a sibling, and then so that's when he finds Nebula as like she's an organic being.
Yep.
But Nebula and Gamora would always be either stalemated or Nebula or Gamora would have the upper hand.
Yeah.
And so one time Nebula complained that she couldn't see what Gamora was doing because she was too fast, and so Thanos literally lifted her up, poked her fucking eye out, and be like, "Okay, we're gonna replace his eye with the cyborg eye." And then every time she said that, "Oh, she was too fast," or he just keep replacing her parts
So
with new parts.
I love that, and I would have loved a scene like that.
Yeah.
The closest thing we got, I think, was in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, where Nebula describing some of that.
Yeah.
Nowhere near as effective as seeing a flashback scene like that.
The books were they were really good in describing like their whole like sister rivalry was like so better explained in the fucking books.
Yeah.
Because they were like their rivalry is basically like, I fucking hate you, but let's fucking kill Thanos when
Yeah.
we can. And that's literally their rivalry.
Yeah, and you get some of that. You
Yeah.
get some of that in Guardians and in this.
yeah, they do mention that in terms of like, oh, how are we in the future or whatever, and they're like, oh, we became sisters and then whatever in the future, which was really cool to
Sisters
see.
and friends. Yeah.
Sisters, friends, yeah, which you would have never expected from Nebula as we first met her and everything.
Nope.
So then, go ahead. You were keeping.
No, I was trying to remember where we let. So
The battle.
Yeah, we set it up.
So Hawkeye pretty much finds the gauntlet underneath all the rubble, picks it up. I'm like, oh god damn, of all the people fucking have this thing. And then it's hilarious because Thanos just like, now we wait,
yeah.
and he's just chilling
Takes
on
his
this,
helmet off.
takes his helmet
Yeah.
off, and I'm just gonna sit here on this rubble and fucking bring it to me,
Yeah,
or whatever.
bring
So
me
I was
this.
like, okay, this is kind of interesting. Because you would kind of think like he'd be a little bit maybe more active in trying to go get that motherfucker.
Nope.
He's a
Nope.
patient
But
dude.
I was like, okay, I'm here for this.
That's another thing the book explains. Is like, so at first when he first starts conquering the universe, after he like tries to fight the Asgardians and gets fucking ass kicked, he almost dies. He's just like, I'm just gonna send down. He means the Chitauri, and then he's like, I'm just gonna send down troops. Eventually gets into like fighting, but then he's like, if there's any possible chance that I'm gonna die, like I'm just gonna send down the troops. Or if
Okay.
it's just like some menial task, send down the troops.
Okay.
It's crazy. So then, Hawkeye's running through.
The fucking,
Thanos is chilling.
The fucking whatever beast are chasing after Hawkeye through the tunnels.
The Chitauri.
Yeah, sorry. And we get Cap and Thanos showdown.
We get Cap, Thanos, it's Cap, Thor, Iron Man versus Thanos.
Fat Thor.
Yep.
Fat
Fat
Thor.
Thor.
Yeah. Who
It's
can still
Flash
fight.
Thor.
Yeah. Who's still
With
who's-
Mjolnir and
And-
Stormbreaker.
Yeah.
Yes.
They go
Dual
at it.
wielding.
And they're doing some straight up video game combos.
I need to watch
and
it again.
Some legit.
Yeah.
That was,
So they were
That was
doing-
one of the best fights.
So this is what Kronos talked about last week, that Thanos was able to hold his own without the gauntlet. He
Of
was able
course.
to go with a dual wielding Thor, Iron Man, and fucking Captain America. He has his like Darth Maul blades fucking them up.
Oh yeah. And I mean,
And he's enjoying it.
oh yeah, this is like a nice workout for him.
My favorite is he broke Cap's shield.
Broke it
Vibranium.
down. Broke it
It's
down.
not invincible.
No,
Yeah.
it isn't. But I'm just saying, for the MCU,
Yeah.
It was virtually
we hadn't seen that before,
Nope.
right?
Except in the dream that Tony had.
Yeah.
No, it gets torn in Age of Ultron, doesn't it? It gets damaged.
No.
I don't think so.
It gets damaged in Civil War, but that's
It's not, but it's not broken.
no, it's not broken. It gets scratched by vibranium.
Yeah.
Yeah, Black Panther.
Broken is a
scratched
different
it.
thing.
Yeah.
But my favorite thing is Cap worthy, which they alluded to in Age of Ultron with him trying to pick up Mjolnir.
Yeah. Yep.
He's worthy now, and
Oh, yeah.
he has a shield and a fucking hammer, and
Audience
he's
put
going to
work.
town.
He
Audience
went to work.
cheered. Audience
Yeah,
cheered.
Audience
yeah, but
freaked
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
If you don't like that, then you don't like the MCU.
Yeah, my theater roared. It
Yeah.
was like this huge roar.
I was like, oh shit, and yeah, it so paid off. Especially if I can't imagine somebody who just watched this movie without watching it. They must have been so fucking lost.
Yeah,
I
right.
can't even-
Yeah.
It was like me when I tried to watch that Star Wars movie. I was like,
Ah.
oh, who's that?
Did you watch it in your bikini though?
Oh,
No.
god
That
dang.
I took a good sleep.
That's all bad. But
So
yeah.
and then Thanos starts to take him down one
Mopping
by
'em.
one, whatever. He's fucking bringing the pain on Cap, and he's just like,
Well, after he already fucked up both Iron Man and fucking
Oh, yeah.
Thor.
He almost
Yep.
kills
Yeah.
Thor. He has Stormbreaker at his chest. Like
oh
Thor
yeah, he's about to put it in
calls-
his chest.
Thor calls for it. Thanos intercepts it, and then tries to slam it in.
Tony fared not much better either.
Yeah, but that's when we see Cap with Mjolnir coming in with his combos. Like he was using shield hammer combos.
Oh, he was fucking
shit
swinging.
up.
Yeah,
It was so good.
it was legit.
And
I need
then-
some gifs.
And then we see Thanos come back and fucking fuck up Cap with the shield. Cap's the
Yeah.
only one standing. Everyone else is down.
Yeah.
We still got Hulk, Rocket, War Machine underneath the rubble.
Yeah, they all-
But
They ain't,
Ant-Man,
doing, they ain't doing shit.
yeah, but Ant-Man has to come down to save them.
Yeah.
He's got to turn into Giant Man
Yeah.
to get them out. But
Then
we
hear,
see Thanos bring his army, like everything.
yeah, army coming, army set up.
Yeah, and then Cap's like, well, fuck it. If I'm going to go out,
He's
I'm
like,
going
"Hey,
out
yeah.
fighting. I'm going to suit
Do
up.
this all
Going
day.
on the shield.
And then he gets a call.
Then we hear in his comm system.
What was that?
I'm
New
like,
phone, who this?
Yeah. And it's good old Falcon.
Yep.
Then the portal opens up, and I'm like, oh shit, here
Great
we
scene.
go.
Yep. And we
And-
see Black Panther. Him,
Like
Princess
Panda walks
Shuri.
in, yeah. They
and,
back.
Yeah, they come out. They're like, what's up, Cap?
Whole squad is there, so everyone's all hyped up, and I was like, this is what I've
Well,
been
it's more
waiting
than just
for.
them. I mean, it's fucking Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Fucking,
Oh yeah.
So
Everybody that was gone
everybody's
is
coming
back,
back.
lined
So-
up, and be like your team versus my team.
Yeah, so in my theater, people cheered when Black Panther came out. People lost their shit when Spider-Man came on screen.
Yeah.
When Spider-Man came on, I thought the theater was going to cave in or some shit.
Because we had seen how fucked up Tony was even thinking about losing Peter. He lost
Yeah.
a kid.
He
Remember
did.
that?
He did. He said he lost a kid. That's the first thing he says to Pepper. I lost a kid.
Yep.
So everyone lost their shit.
Quick question. I know we're at the very fucking end, but I just want to make sure I get this straight. Did Aunt May get dusted or not?
No. Oh.
I have no idea.
I have no
You don't
idea.
know.
Because I felt that was a little bit missing. I know that somewhere in that 5 years it happened, but the whole thing of him at first taking the 15-year-old boy into Germany to fight, other superheroes, and then obviously Homecoming goes down and whatnot. Tony's relationship with Spidey is important, but he took basically he should feel responsible for Spidey, a teenage
No,
Spidey.
he doesn't, because he's an asshole. He's an Iron Man. Now he's fucking dead. Fuck him.
No.
Oh,
He
damn.
should feel some kind of. There should have been some kind of scene with if she is alive with Aunt May and Tony.
No idea. I don't know about a scene.
I don't care about that.
Something.
Does a pimp care about his hose? Was she making money?
God,
Oh, damn.
Just saying.
yeah.
So I don't know. Aunt May could have got dusted. Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah.
That's probably Aunt May's kid, not even fucking
Damn.
Yeah.
Pepper Potts' kid.
Damn.
Oh,
Oh, damn.
We didn't even do the "I love you 3000" part. One of the most touching parts. Y'all
that's
just
a great
fucking
part.
glossed over that
We
shit.
should.
That's a
Well,
cute ass kid too.
Wow,
Yeah.
well, we practically reviewed the whole fucking movie.
Yeah, but
Well,
"I love you
shit.
3000" was fucking important.
It wasn't. It is important. But
Go ahead.
we got the fight.
So they all ready to go. They charge at each other.
So Doctor Strange and Wong, because everyone said he was a bitch ass, they brought reinforcements.
Was Wong dusted?
No,
I don't know.
he was not.
What the fuck? Like, if he wasn't dusted, then
I
I
don't
have
think
no
he
idea.
was.
I have
Yeah.
no idea if he was.
Jesus Christ, he bounced out and said, "I don't want this smoke with Thanos in Infinity War," and just chilled for
Well,
5 years.
he had to watch the house.
The house that has no time fucking stone in it.
No
Just,
idea.
Well, no, but that's the thing. The Sanctum
There-
Sanctorum, somebody has to protect it.
But
There-
I thought it
and
was
there-
the whole thing was protecting it because of the time stone.
But that's not the only
But no,
artifact
it's more than
there.
just
There's-
that. It's protecting things against supernatural beings.
Yeah.
It's not protecting against, because obviously if it's just a time stone, why the fuck is there more than one Sanctum Sanctorum? There's one in New York, but there's multiple ones across the globe. I think it's 3 or 4, right?
But have we seen? I'm sorry. Have we seen the other ones?
yeah.
We saw those in Doctor Strange.
There's more than one Sanctum Sanctorum.
Okay, maybe.
I don't know if we've seen it. We might
I've
have.
only watched Doctor
I mean,
Strange
just
once.
Google just to make sure, but
Yeah,
Yeah, but I'm talking about from the movies. I hear you on the comics.
they
Yeah, 'cause
focus
that-
on the New York
there
one.
was one in where he first went to
Where he trained.
Asian country.
He did train.
Yeah, but after that,
That's the
then
Sanctum
after
Sanctorum.
that, the New York one I thought becomes it.
I think
no,
the New York
there's
one
more
is just
than
his.
one.
Okay, maybe
Oh.
I'm
Yeah,
tripping. All
but
right.
I mean, Wong brought Squad. He came in with Magical Squad. Wakanda came back. They brought in their troops. This time they brought in flying ships. So we didn't get that in Infinity War. And then
What do you mean we didn't get that in Infinity War?
do we have ships?
Thought they had in the
They had-
big battle in Wakanda with the shield and all
Yeah,
that.
I'm right.
And
There's
rhinos.
one in New York, one in London, and one in Hong Kong.
Is there one in London? Okay, all right.
Yeah, I don't remember ships in Infinity War. It was all ground
Maybe
ground
not.
warfare.
Maybe not.
And it was actually the one in London was in the film.
Maybe I'm
It
tripping.
got,
okay.
it got destroyed in the film.
Okay.
Oh,
all right.
okay. So yeah, big battle ensues. Hulk's on the front line, running into. With
Hulk
the
ain't
charge
doing
and
shit. He
everybody
ain't fighting in this
Yeah,
movie. Stop
whatever.
trying to insert your
No,
fucking
it's not
bullshit that
insert.
wasn't on scene.
I just saw this
Fuck
fucking
you.
movie and he's in the fucking
Oh, yeah.
front line. Fuck your feelings.
Hawkeye's got the gauntlet running and everything,
Running point.
Then it becomes
Black Panther
then
says,
it becomes like a rugby
give it to
scrummage.
me.
Then you get girl power.
Yeah.
Well, it will
goes
get passes to Black Panther.
Then it
Black
passes-
Panther fucking fumbles.
goes to Spider-Man.
Spider-Man does it, activates insta kill, which I fucking was cracking
cool.
up
That was
about
dope.
that. And he's straight up the
he
arms
still-
are stabbing people
and
and,
he
shit.
still almost got killed.
yeah.
Spider-Man catches a ride on Mjolnir, and then he crashes. Then he curls up because he's like outnumbered, and then Captain Marvel shows up, puts a couple
Yeah, from the
holes.
sky.
Yeah, so she busts a couple holes in
ship.
Thanos' ship. His ship goes down, crashes, which I think should have been a bigger explosion, but whatever. And then she comes and meets up with Spider-Man and says, "Hey, you got something for me?" And Spider-Man says, "Yeah, I got this dick."
I was gonna say, I got this spider dick.
Yeah, so she gives
Yeah.
it to him, and like Spider-Man, I don't know how you gonna get through all this. And then like, I can't even remember. Okoye shows up,
Yeah.
and she's all like, "Well, she won't be alone." Then Girl Power shows up. We see Pepper in rescue armor, which we should have gotten fucking Iron Man 3. Fuck you, Shane. Anyway,
And we see
Valkyrie's in the fight
yes.
Yes, on her fucking
on her fucking
Pegasus.
unicorn.
Pegasus,
Yeah.
yeah.
Fucking Wasp shows up, and then
Everybody shows up.
Everybody shows up.
Thanos got that work from Scarlet Witch.
Woo!
Yeah,
She wanted all the
This
smoke.
was a character that I loved in Age of Ultron, and I was upset that they had never gone back to her showcasing her power because of Vision dying, which we got to talk about fucking bullshit ass Vision, but because of Vision dying or her rage or whatever, she showcased all of it. I loved her getting some redemption. And
Thanos
having,
was like,
being
I don't even know
powerful.
who you are.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit. And
I
she
love
went in a
that.
rage
She's
mode.
been like, "What's my name now, bitch?"
Yeah.
She was incredible.
Yeah, she was about to
She
break him in pieces.
She was probably the one he had the most trouble with.
And he's
Definitely.
Like, he's like, Control Alt Delete. Fire everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah. Ebony Maw or something was like, "What you want me to do, sire?" And he was like,
like,
"Fire on the troops. It don't
Yeah,
matter.
yeah.
Kill them all.
Kill them
Get me
all."
out of. Get me away from this bitch."
Yeah. So then, like, they were firing. He managed to run from her pretty much, but
He didn't want that smoke.
Yeah, she broke his fucking Darth Maul blade. He had to go get a new one.
You know, now
No,
one
he,
thing,
he did not get a new one.
It looked like he got a new
No,
one to me.
he fought with the same broken
same one. But quick thing though, even though she's raging out and doing awesome shit, she still has the ability to control everybody's mind on the entire battlefield, right?
What does she need to for?
She-
Well, yes and no. So there's a problem. Okay, so the Chitauri, they're a hive mind. So
Sure.
for her to take over all their minds would be difficult because they're a hive mind with no real leader. And then
Okay.
second, they're also a mix of technology. So she would have had a difficult time taking all their minds over.
I mean, maybe, but we do know she has the ability to do the mind altering on.
We haven't seen it since fucking.
Yeah, but she did it on
I've-
Hulk. She did it on a super soldier. She did it on a
He
demigod.
just wanted to murder somebody.
Yeah.
Oh, so actually,
The hexing thing.
There's an easy way around this. It wasn't wearing his helmet, but the helmet that he wears is to protect him against the Mind Stone,
Okay.
and that's explained in the books. And that's he specifically makes that helmet to stop any kind of mind tampering, and that's the reason why he. Because I was like, why the fuck would he give it to Loki? But it's the Mind Stone. Why wouldn't Loki just touch him and just fucking kill him?
But she's not using the mind stone when she's hexing, right?
No, she
no,
don't need
but
it.
but there are telepathic powers, and it stops all that shit. His helmet does.
But she's crushing him already. I thought she.
Yeah, but
when she's crushing him.
I know, but you're asking about specific like mind
Yeah,
control.
you're asking
powers.
why she
Yeah.
didn't take over the
And
troops.
he has natural mind control resistance, but
Okay.
against like extreme circumstances, like the Mind Stone, that helmet stops everything.
I'm going to say a little bit of. There's some evidence in Infinity War that without the helmet, he is susceptible to it because we saw with Mantis,
With Mantis,
putting
yeah, with that,
putting
yeah.
him to sleep.
Yeah.
I would say Scarlet Witch absolutely could, minus I guess some helmet.
He wanted to murder.
That-
Yeah,
that's
she wanted
fine. I'm just
revenge.
saying you can murder even while you've. She didn't hex anybody. She has not done any hexing and
Since
since
yeah,
Ultron.
She
Yeah.
just wanted to take him apart, which I mean
Yeah.
that's way more satisfying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was about
Yeah.
to rip him open.
She did well. I was impressed.
Yeah.
So we have the fight scene. Everyone's
So,
fighting.
so you were pissed off about the girl power moment.
I didn't say I was.
Oh, I
I
was
never said.
question.
Yeah,
Okay, okay, no,
Chrono said he was.
Okay.
It
didn't-
was whatever
no,
to me.
I didn't say that. I said there was a girl power moment. I didn't say I didn't like it.
Oh, okay.
I know you hate women, but don't put your words in my mouth.
I didn't have any. It was a short scene. It was whatever, you know,
yeah,
for
it's
me.
it's a quick little minute.
I mean,
I mean, I got a problem with the Russo brothers and some other folks saying that Captain Marvel is the most powerful in the MCU.
yeah, that was
That's a big problem.
proven to be false.
Because that's
Yeah.
dumb as fuck. I mean, listen, Thor is as far as like power goes, it's either Thor or Hulk. Thor probably more than Hulk. Those are the most powerful, the two most powerful that are in the MCU right now, as far as heroes go.
Well, but this felt like they tried to shoehorn her in. I mean, let's be honest.
When
in
the
terms of
director says
Avengers.
something like, I just take it with a grain of salt. I'm like,
some
yeah,
of it's marketing.
I agree. And I'm just like, yeah, whatever. You ain't writing no books. You don't know shit. You just,
Trying to sell a movie.
yeah. I mean, if you can say that fucking Tony Stark's fucking most powerful, yeah, cool story, bro. I know you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Just shit.
Exactly.
Just make a good movie, clown.
And if you casuals are listening to this, be like, oh, you just don't like women. No, it's not about that. Listen, if you want to have a powerful woman in the MCU that can defeat Thanos that is super powerful, I would go with Spectrum, or at least explain Captain Marvel going as binary. That's closer to being more powerful, but I still would put Thor above her because he's literally a fucking god.
Yeah.
And Hulk is somebody that as long as he's angry, he has infinite strength.
Yeah.
So unless you can calm him the fuck down, which Captain Marvel has no possibility of doing, there's no way you're gonna fucking beat either of them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And they had their one-on-one
silly.
little fight for
She
a
had her
moment.
one-on-one, but then
And
like
whatever,
she prevented him from snapping because he almost snapped with this. She
Yeah.
kept his fingers open, but he pulled the power
Yeah.
stone off and he sent
punched
her ass
her,
in
yeah,
the over.
which was-
Yeah.
that
He
was a
knocked
good
her
move. Yeah,
way.
yeah.
She was. We literally don't see her the rest of the fight. He
Yeah.
sent her to orbit.
Yeah, which I thought
And
was,
rightly so.
Yeah, I thought it was fair or whatever.
I thought it was fair. I was like,
They were going at it.
Well, but also some shade. Going back to what Kronos was saying, Marvel definitely tried to promote it as she's coming to save, and we
I
got
don't-
the sense of that even with the.
I think the media
fuck?
did that. I don't think Marvel did
No,
that.
they
No,
definitely
Marvel
did that.
fucking. Hold
Yeah.
on. Just let me get this out. God damn. Even in Infinity War with fucking Nick Fury, and this is the end of the world, and I got to get out my pager and whatnot. They set it up as her coming to the rescue and saving the Avengers and being the most powerful, and they literally said that multiple times in the build up to this movie.
It worked in terms of them getting hype.
Yeah,
no, it doesn't.
It worked for
it doesn't
worked for
have to be-
Solo, and it worked for this movie being a big blockbuster.
It doesn't have to be factually true. They just created some hype.
That's it.
And
That's it.
I mean, it worked.
I
Or
mean,
whatever.
I think it's good if you're trying to bring in a new demographic into watching comic book movies, right? So if you want to have female viewers come in, that's great. But at the same time, it's like don't bullshit us into like thinking these.
And I think some of that is even horseshit. There's millions of women that are watching these. I mean, these are international blockbusters. It's not like these movies do not appeal to half of the planet right now.
I know some people that didn't give.
I disagree with you, Prodigy.
How so?
I totally do. I mean, Kamek wasn't that interested in it. I mean, she watches the MC movies with me.
Yeah, that's what I was
But
gonna say.
when Captain Marvel came out, she's like, "Oh my god, it's a badass chick."
Yeah.
Before that, there was no badass chicks in the MCU.
I know people that had
There
no
are
interest.
some. Oh, go ahead.
I know a lot of people that had no real interest. They're like, oh, whatever, I'm going to watch it. Like, I want to see. A lot of females that I know were just like, I'm going to check this out because this is supposed to be some badass chick that's crazy powerful. Didn't know shit about the character except what they saw in that movie. And they were hyped to go see it, and obviously the numbers spoke for themselves.
Yep.
And
they got them numbers to come to see
those
Endgame.
Those numbers weren't just true comic book fans that were just like, oh, I want to see this character I've been reading about. Those numbers were just random ass casuals that fed into the Marvel hype. Be like, this is some badass chick I'm supposed to check out.
The MCU, and I think we're talking about very different things, but the MCU has had zero problems having successful movies prior to Captain Marvel, and I mean billion-dollar movies. This is the most successful movie franchise of all time. I do not think that this franchise has had any trouble with most demographics, including female demographics. Millions of women see these movies.
They
too.
tapped into a resource that they hadn't really pushed the button on. The female specific female casual viewer. And they set it up. They primed it with you got to check this chick out. She's badass. You need to watch it. They hit that button. It brought in whatever 153 million, and those 100 that demographic came again to watch Endgame because they knew she was an important part of the piece.
Hold on.
And that's why we have a movie
hold
that
on.
beat the second highest one by 100-something million.
Hold on. Infinity War had already gone literally over 2 billion. Black Panther had done 1.3 billion. I mean, these are. Let's not
what
try
did
to.
Endgame do?
Endgame, I said Endgame was going to do 3 billion, and it's well on its way. All I'm saying is the MCU was already the most successful machine prior to any of that. That's all I'm saying.
It was the most successful it beat Star Wars by 10 million.
22 films, and they average at least 700-800 million per film.
They went from
maybe $1 billion on several of them.
As much as I talk shit on Star Wars is a fucking top tier juggernaut.
Absolutely.
They fucking trumped this shit.
Agreed.
More than any of us expected. I don't think that. I mean, we were throwing out random numbers, but to actually let it quantify and be like, this did $100 million more than the previous highest film is fucking bananas.
It did 1.2 billion in the opening weekend worldwide.
Yeah.
None of us expected that shit.
Right now,
we were throwing out random numbers just to whatever.
Yeah, we did.
We were playing Prices Right the other day with
you and I both said it just weeks prior. We said it was going to be a $3 billion movie, the highest of all time.
But I also think that them bringing in bringing in females into this movie, like trying to get the female fans, trying to gain new female fans, contributed to their higher numbers.
Sure.
Yes.
All I'm saying though, and I'm not disagreeing with that point per se, but I'm saying in the context of it already being one of the most successful franchises of all time, they were still doing well with even that demographic prior.
But you understand how they're building on the demographic, right?
They did the same thing with Black Panther.
They came up with Black Panther. They introduced very strong females, and then in Captain Marvel they introduced a very strong female, and they also had it in Endgame. I think they're not dumb. They're trying to introduce
even Thor
these
Ragnarok.
characters into a new demographic that previously did not watch superhero movies. And I think if they did not do that, you would not have seen this high of a number in the box office.
I think you're completely downplaying even Avengers 1 being successful with that demographic as well.
But Avengers 1 didn't make this amount of money.
Not this amount of money?
Nowhere near.
Oh, well, hold on. I mean, it did, I thought, 1.4, 1.5 billion at the top, but hold on.
No. Finish what you just said. It made 1.4, 1.5 billion. Hold on, stop. Over their entire time in the theaters. This made that amount of money in a fucking weekend.
Yes. However, it's part of this franchise. At that time, Avengers 1 was the most successful superhero movie of all time back in 2012 when you go back then. It didn't do poorly with that demographic either.
No. What I'm saying is that they're building on a new demographic. back then they weren't really tapping into the female demographic. They had Black Widow, yeah, but they weren't really tapping into. They weren't going after the female demographic. Now they really are, like fucking hard.
They collected the
I'm not
Infinity
disagreeing with
Stones
that.
of all the demographics in reference to this.
I agree. But from the Avengers one, going back.
If you agree, then the conversation is
No,
done.
no. All I'm saying is you're not putting into the context of Avengers 1 being this
understand it.
mega hit for
What you're saying it's
mega hit for the
irrelevant.
time and doing well with
It did
all of
great.
these demographics.
It did great, but
It didn't do.
no,
No,
I'm sorry.
it didn't
Hold
do
on.
well with all the
Okay, it
demographics.
certainly did. It was the highest at the time, the highest grossing superhero movie of all time, and one of the highest grossing
that
films of all
demographic
time.
that it had was people like us.
No, you're
yes.
full of shit.
Yes.
It got in all kinds of people who didn't know who the Avengers were.
The casual female fan, the casual,
had plenty
the
of
casual female.
Prodigy, the numbers are not lying.
Find out. Okay, I'm
the-
sorry. What are
the-
you trying to say?
the
What are you
casual-
trying to say for Avengers 1 in terms of the fan base? You're telling me that it didn't bring in brand new fans by
I'm
the
s-
millions?
I'm saying that Endgame brought in way more fans, and it's evidence of that it made almost the same amount as the entire run of the first Avengers movie in its first fucking weekend, and there is no arguing that.
They
I
built
agree
upon it.
with that.
So then
For
that
the-
conversation's done.
No, for the time though, it's Avengers did the same thing.
No, it did do the same thing. Did it make $1.2 billion in a weekend?
At that time,
no.
It did
had
not
No,
do
hold
that.
on. At that time, it had never been done.
It
That's
didn't-
what I'm saying.
It didn't do 100 million more than the previous movie.
Yes, it did. Well, I'm sorry. What previous movie are you talking about?
Opening weekend for Avengers. What was it before Avengers came out? With the opening weekend thing, what was it? Spider? It was 100.
It destroyed Spider-Man. None of the Spider-Mans made $1 billion. Next.
I'm talking about opening day weekend. We always talk about how many times
It
I gotta
dis-
fucking do I need a tattoo on my head?
It destroyed Spider-Man
So
in its full
So
box
the
office.
Avengers opening day weekend did 207 million. This
Yeah.
did like 400 million.
Yes, this movie made more money. I
Two months-
completely
okay,
agree. I'm talking about for 2012, it was a mega hit and did well with everybody.
It did. The previous movie before Avengers was not 102. It wasn't 102. Then Avengers 1 came out and it did
Listen,
207.
hold on. I'm looking up the actual numbers now. So the Avengers opening weekend, it made $392 million
Worldwide.
worldwide.
Mhm.
Endgame made $1.2 billion.
Yes, Endgame made more. We're all on the same page.
So Avengers is 12 as far as the highest box office opening of all time. Obviously, Endgame is number 1. There's a whole bunch of other movies that beat that. Fucking Superman versus
Beavis.
yeah, Beavis made more than that.
Which was after, though.
Well, yeah.
All I'm simply saying is for that time period, that was the Infinity War in-game big event.
No,
No.
sorry. Harry Potter made more than that. Deathly Hallows Part 2 in 2011, which is the year before that, made $483 million.
But
so
for its-
there you go.
but for
for
its-
its time, it made more money.
No, it did not make more money for its entire box office run.
You just said opening weekend, so we're gonna
No, hold
box
on.
office run. Okay,
Hold
can
on.
go
I
back
did.
and look.
No.
can-
I didn't say opening weekend. Stitch did. He
So you want to say
sitting right by
the
me.
whole run?
Yeah, the whole run.
The whole run. I'm pretty sure Harry Potter made more than that.
Check it right now, for me. What? And I know we went down a big old
I
rabbit
know.
hole.
I'm like, what? Which Harry Potter? Because there's a few of them on here.
I thought Deathly Hollows 1 and 2 probably are the highest grossing Harry Potters,
Probably.
right?
Damn.
And I know they're both over $1 billion.
What year did that come out? In
Which one?
2011?
I'm looking at Force Awakens. This made 936 million.
I have to find
domestic.
Avengers because it's pretty fucking far down here now.
Yeah, I mean, since then it's just been an explosion in terms of superhero movies and big budget movies doing extremely well.
So wait, what are you looking for?
I'm sorry, the entire box office run for Deathly Hollows.
Oh,
Probably Deathly Hollows 1 or 2. I know it was over $1 billion, but I feel like Avengers 1 topped it. But maybe I'm wrong. And sorry, we're fact checking on the air and all
I
that.
know. Well,
We got away from the fight. While someone's looking that up, the fight goes on.
It's not even. I don't think it's on the fucking list that I'm looking at top
wait,
100.
you talking about domestic or worldwide?
Worldwide.
Yeah, I don't think it's even in the top because I looked up. There's only 3. Well, there's 5 matches. Okay, hold on.
All right.
I'm trying to find it.
That's okay.
So Harry
that's it.
Potter,
1,
Harry Potter
2,
and Deathly
3,
Hollows
4.
Part 2, 1.3 billion.
Okay, and then Avengers wasn't that one?
Avengers
it-
is 1.5 billion.
Okay, so it's more.
No, which Avengers are you talking about?
The first Avengers.
Marvel's The Avengers.
Yeah,
Number,
it was a bigger movie than
it
Harry
is-
Potter. That's all I'm
okay,
saying.
okay.
top 6 of all time.
Yeah.
Worldwide.
Oh yeah, I see it now. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get back to the fight. Sorry, I know we go down tangents, but
Dude, Avengers Endgame is number 8.
it's
of
going to
all
be the number
time.
one movie of all time.
Okay, no, I got it right here. Okay, before it was Avengers, I mean, you said it was Harry Potter, Deathly Hallows that came out in 2011,
Which Avengers beat.
which it beat or whatever. That opening weekend for Harry Potter was 169. Avengers did 207.
But look at the worldwide
So it-
numbers is different.
Yeah,
It's-
exactly.
Okay, worldwide it made
So-
way more.
Okay, oh yeah, but I'm saying, like I said, I deal with the domestic opening weekend.
He does. Yes.
It did 40 million. It broke the record by 40 million and everything. This did 100
This is a bigger movie.
because they tapped into all those other fucking demographics and added them up and got those casual fans from. I mean, we got casual people that you got Black Panther. That sounds like something I'd be interested in or whatever. I mean, obviously they didn't need to recruit us. They had us at Avengers.
Yeah, they did.
They had us at fucking Captain America 1. We were gonna watch these things. They weren't trying to recruit us. As long as they kept putting out good movies, we were gonna watch them.
This is
we
true.
we saw Ant-Man 1, we saw Ant-Man 2, we saw Thor 1, 2,
I didn't
3,
see that
Iron
Ant-Man
Man 3.
2.
Even movies we didn't like. You know what? Fuck it. We'll go watch
Yeah,
it again.
I synced them all.
I synced them
We-
all.
Ant-Man
yeah.
2 even?
Ant-Man 2, yeah, I watched them all.
It's on Netflix
Yeah.
now.
But they tapped into these other sources. Let's get the women involved. Let's get just a casual black person that doesn't really know too much about. Oh, you got a black superhero now? Let me go check out Chadwick
Very,
Boseman. Okay,
most
cool.
successful franchise of all time. We're on the same page.
And it worked.
Let's end it off. Sorry.
So,
It's getting late.
yeah, it's super late.
So I told you we'd go deep on this.
I didn't know we were gonna recap the whole fucking movie.
Which
Yeah,
we
which
did
we
it for
did.
Infinity War.
Yeah. So, Tony Stark gets the gauntlet from Thanos.
Arya Stark, what?
Oh, damn. Yeah, it was a good weekend for Starks, for the most part. But Tony does a snap, dusted all of Thanos' forces, dies in the process.
Yeah. But before that says, I am Iron Man again. Going back to 08.
Yeah.
Mm.
He pulls the
that.
the switch through. Plucks plucks the
He
stones
plucks
out.
the stones out of
Yeah.
the gauntlet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Thanos
leaning on
is-
forward. I was like, oh shit, here we go.
For me, that was the best scene in terms of like saying I am Iron Man. Again, it's his tech. He made an Infinity Gauntlet.
He did.
MIT engineer. Come on.
He did, and it molded itself. I don't know if that was his tech or if the stones did that shit.
Well, he has nanotech.
That was his tech,
Yeah.
man. Tony.
Yeah.
He did the
Tony
snap
solved time travel and made an Infinity Gauntlet
and did the snap.
and beat his enemy, Thanos. Because again, Thanos told him, I hope they remember you.
What are you talking about? Tony's real enemy is alcoholism.
Yeah, there
Oh, Damn.
But yeah.
I'm a purist.
you go.
So he.
Thanos respected
Yeah.
Tony
Yeah.
only.
So he did the snap, and then the first one on the scene is War Machine. Then we have Spider-Man saying his heartfelt goodbye. He actually calls him Tony instead of Mr. Stark.
Yep.
And then we see Pepper in her rescue armor coming up, saying, "You can rest now. You did it.
Yeah.
We won."
Like, it's okay. Yeah. right.
That's the scene that almost made me. If I had feelings, I would have shed a tear right there. Because I mean, this is Tony Stark. I'm a huge RDJ fan
Yeah.
since fucking Weird Science.
Yeah, he
Even.
brought it.
Yeah.
He
He
brought
came and brought it. I mean, to me, this is more his franchise than anyone else.
Oh, I mean, without a fucking doubt,
There
you
you
wouldn't
go.
have MCU
MCU,
without our
pretty
RDJ.
And then it was just he fades out, and then we see, them cleaning up. Cap takes the stones, try to put the black in time. Thor joins the Asgardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, we had the funeral.
Yeah, I'm about to say the funeral.
The
The funeral of
Asgardians
Tony
of the
Stark.
Galaxy? You mean the Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah,
He's
well,
the
it's
only he's the only Asgardians on the fucking ship.
but he calls it Asgardians of the Galaxy,
He's
which
a
is
god.
hilarious. We have the funeral. Everybody's there. Even that little annoying kid from Iron Man 3 is up in there.
That bothered me because I hadn't seen him in so goddamn long. Is that
Yeah.
the same
It's
actor?
the same actor, confirmed 3 times over
They coulda
by
left him
Disney,
out. I wouldn't give a shit.
MCU.
That was a little weird, but
Yeah, I
alright.
thought it was weird because I was like, "Is this the same kid on the bike?" Or nah?
I had no fucking idea.
I had no
who it was.
idea. I was like, it was racking my brain because I was so busy focused on the kid, I missed General Ross in the background, who was standing next to Maria Christina Hill in the back. And then we finally see Nick Fury in the back, paying tribute.
I still find it a little bit disrespectful that Fury, again, the first one who ever said Avengers in this franchise, got what, 2 words, 1 word, and both of these movies.
He didn't say nothing in
I don't
this
think he
movie.
spoke this
said he
movie.
don't speak this
Yeah,
movie.
he doesn't say anything in this one. In Infinity War, at the cutscenes, he says "mother," and then
He says something
fades
else.
out.
I mean, he talks to Maria Hill a
Not
little bit.
disrespectful. He's not that big of a deal.
I mean, he is the one who started the Avengers Initiative.
Well,
you know?
yeah, but he's not. I mean, he's
got
not
bi-
part of the
it's
Avengers.
bigger than
Yeah.
him now.
Yeah, but for me, it is disrespectful because he obviously played a big role in both Ultron and Avengers 1.
Did he though?
Absolutely. With the Tesseract?
In Ultron,
And then
he
in
does.
Ultron and the farm?
He didn't fight that much though.
He doesn't.
Yeah,
He
He's
brings
a
in
super
a-
spy.
How
He
much
brings
did-
in a helicopter.
How much did he do?
Yeah, Winter
brings-
Soldier
he-
2 was
who
the
did
last
he-
time
who
he
did
was.
Who did he save?
He was the one. He didn't save anybody, but he was the one
So
with the.
you didn't
Actually,
do shit.
no, that's
no,
not
he was
true.
the one, he was the one with the whole strategy in the farmhouse,
No,
getting
no.
the Avengers back together.
It's
for
not just
doing
that.
Ultron.
He brought in a helicopter to airlift the refugees from Sokovia.
There you go. It's Nick
So,
Fury.
Do you put Nick Fury on the same level as Captain America?
No, he is not on the same level as Captain America. However, for the Avengers, he is extremely important.
I don't think
Yeah,
it's that important.
I'll partially agree here that you put he should have at least said some kind of eulogy, but
He's
he
Nick
didn't.
Fury.
But we're gonna see Nick in the next Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I like Samuel L. Jackson. I like Nick Fury. But as far as like how important he is to like super beings, minimal at best because he can't do shit.
Yeah.
He
He's
can't. He needs to stay in his lane. He fights Hydra. That's great.
Yeah.
But as far as like beating Thanos, any other kind of cosmic being, someone with superpowers,
yeah. No, I'm not
Not
saying
really.
I'm not saying from a fighting standpoint, but from a strategy standpoint, he's the one with plenty of insight and strategy in two Avengers
that's
movies.
a great point. So from a strategy standpoint, he was fucking dead through the whole fucking movie. So it doesn't really matter.
Pretty much.
Yeah, well, I
So-
I definitely get that, but we have again half of the Avengers movies with him saying a line.
Yeah.
And again, he was
Yeah,
the
to take a
first
back
one.
seat.
He was the first one to ever say the Avengers
Why
Initiative.
you being nitpicky, man?
Huh?
If it had been Cap's
being
funeral,
nitpicky.
then maybe yeah, I'd be.
I like Nick Fury.
I like him too, but I'm just saying he wasn't. Him saying anything in this movie was irrelevant.
Yeah.
He didn't do shit in the movie.
I mean, we get more lines from Happy. You know.
Happy was
Happy was talking
his
to a
boy.
kid. Yeah.
Happy's
I
his
mean,
boy.
Nick Fury didn't do shit in
Yeah.
this movie. He
That's-
had-
I agree.
if
He
you-
didn't.
if
He
you-
didn't do shit in Infinity War either.
If you
Well,
think about
of
this
course
too,
not, yeah.
Happy had more screen time in the first Iron Man than Nick Fury
Yeah,
did.
Winter Soldier was the last
He
time
did.
Nick Fury really was all inclusive in the plot.
yeah.
And
With
that-
everything
that-
going on with Shield and
And that
Hydra
was
and
him
stuff.
battling Hydra.
I mean,
Yeah.
listen, if they want to do like a Secret Warriors with him, like a legit Secret Warriors with him, I'm all about that shit. But as far as like cosmic beings go, Nick Fury has no fucking place with that shit. He's gonna get murked immediately.
Extra murk.
Yeah. Okay. That we disagree, but that's all right.
I mean,
why you just what's he gonna bring to the table, bro?
Huh?
What's he gonna bring to the table against a cosmic being? What powers he got?
I'm not saying from a fighting standpoint. Again, I'm saying from bringing the Avengers together.
being a
he's,
cheerleader.
Again, he's always been the one to
a
bring-
mascot. Spirit
He's always been
animal.
the one to bring the Avengers together. He was the one that started the Avengers Initiative. That's all I'm saying.
He's the one that started, but he's like, it's like expecting a coach to fucking dunk.
I want the coach to say words. You know what I mean? I want the coach to have a strategy. I want the coaches to actually get in there and
doesn't matter.
and say, "Hey, team, this is what we're going to do on defense."
But,
You
but
know?
was the coach dead throughout the whole game? He was dead throughout the whole fucking movie.
He wasn't dead.
What's he gonna say?
wasn't dead in Infinity War, and he wasn't
dead
in it.
in this whole movie. He was fucking dead.
Yeah, but I have a problem with him not
but
being.
But was he dead in the whole movie?
Hold on, I have a
he
problem
walk
with
through
him.
the
I have a
portal?
problem with him being in literally only 2 of the Avengers movies. I want to see a little bit more of him. That's all.
Did Fury walk through the portal?
No,
what portal?
no,
When
not
he
on
came
screen.
back now.
No,
No,
we
he
only
doesn't-
see him in the funeral
No,
saying
we
nothing.
only seen the funeral.
So
And we
that's it.
same thing. You see,
Sorry,
you don't have the same energy with
This is-
Christina Hill.
It's silly. Listen,
Maria Hill.
Nick Fury has a job doing Shield shit. He doesn't have a job doing
Shield is
Avengers
gone.
shit.
Shield is gone.
Yeah, I understand that. That another reason why he's fucking gone, but because he does Shield shit. You understand the point here? He has no business being in Avengers fighting shit because he doesn't have powers. He's not powered up. He doesn't have shit. Like he has some tech.
yeah,
He has strategy, yeah, but beyond that, he doesn't really add much to the equation.
For me, he added a ton in Age of Ultron and Avengers 1.
if he had
That's
said
it.
something to Pepper, I would have been okay with it,
Yeah.
or more okay. But I'm okay. I'm not like super up in arms. I have to commend you, Prodigy, for not going off the rails on Captain Marvel, because I know you have some things to say. We don't have enough time.
Brie can't act. Fuck her. I mean, she just seemed a little rough on the acting side compared to like Nebula knocked it out of the fucking park on her acting.
She didn't have
I love Nebula, but
Captain Marvel did not have nearly as much screen time as Nebula.
But the scenes that she did, from an acting standpoint, she didn't seem to really bring it.
What was she supposed to bring? Like, what did you expect? She
Well,
doesn't.
hold on. What I expected was, again, Marvel hyped her up as being, again, this savior, superwoman god for the Avengers coming to
They
rescue the
hyped
day.
it up so they could get that box office money, and it worked.
and you didn't even see Captain. You didn't even see Captain.
But I'm talking
Marvel.
about I'm talking about for this movie, though.
For this
That's all
movie,
I'm saying.
I did not see them say anything saying, "Oh, she's the one to save them all."
We talked about
I
this.
saw the media do that.
The Russo brothers said that she was the
Yeah,
most powerful
come on
person in the
now.
MCU.
I
which
saw
she is
Kevin
not.
Feige say
I
that
can show
shit.
you the receipts, man.
It was a
Yeah,
hype, it was
I
a hype
can-
train. They pulled the Don King.
I guess, but
It's
I
all
don't
good.
think
Can
there's anything wrong with her acting at all.
Listen,
I think
we are-
Captain Marvel was the same.
We are quite near 3 hours. Actually, we're past 3 hours right now.
Yeah,
All right.
And y'all got to work, and I got to get up with a baby tomorrow.
For
We'll
sure.
talk a little
All right,
tomorrow.
all right.
ratings.
No, fuck it.
No, we can give a number.
Yeah,
Let's give a number.
quick.
Fine. Go ahead.
I'm giving this a 8.9.
8.9. All right. Stitch, what you got?
10.2.
Damn,
Christ, you're going above the
It
scale.
broke it.
Go ahead.
Broke it.
I'll give it a 10.
damn.
Wow.
You gave Black Panther 10. But the reasons that I give it an 8.9 is the problems you pointed out, because it loses a little bit.
Yeah, it's still, like, it's, to me, the way that they wrapped everything up,
Okay.
to me, it was perfect. Even though they had some problems, it was still a perfect MCU movie.
Okay.
All right, even though they strayed from the comics a little bit, I'm not going to be that fucking kind of nerd, all right?
Of course.
It was an excellent movie to me. I gave it a 10. Hands down, I'm not going to give it above a 10. So,
7.7.
God
God
damn.
dang.
Y'all didn't let me get my stuff in, but
What were
whatever.
your actual
about
problems?
Captain
Hold on.
Marvel.
What were your problems?
Nah, let's close it out. We can talk about it
Oh, you got
Next
it.
week.
I mean, we
All right.
really do got to go get out of here.
Yeah.
7.7. No, we're not doing the round table. Let's fucking take us out, man.
All right,
Fuck
you
it.
just witnessed the dankness of the Black and the Black Times Infinity at BTI. We are BTHANBTI on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. If you don't watch us live, you should be watching us live every Wednesday night, 8:30 p.m. Pacific time. Also, Player FM, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts. We're on there with BTI or Black and the Black Times Infinity if you can type. Check our official website, binheadproduction.com/BTI on Twitch, twitch.tv/BTI. And yeah.
Don't forget, Fanime, May 24th, Friday night, 8 p.m., Panel Room 3, San Jose Convention Center. Come see us deliver a panel all about anime villain appreciation.
Memorial Day weekend, so please come out. It's going to be an epic panel, and we have probably a lot of people are going to be there. Like,
Yeah.
so far,
A lot of giveaways, too.
yeah, so far it should be way over 100.
And just so you know, bring some Captain Marvel memorabilia just to give the Prodigy. He
Yeah.
appreciates it.
He'll sign it.
Can't fucking act.
Yeah, he'll sign it. Tripping.
Friday's going to sign all of his cards, 7.7, give it to you.
7 point. That's fucking ridiculous.
7.7?
He rated Bird Box higher.
Damn.
Stupid. Teen Titans Go, he also said was better.
Oh my god.
Fair and unbiased.
Oh, that's some bullshit. Hatred.
Fucking Fox,
Fox
News.
News. Yeah. That's probably the name of his podcast. There's going to be something else, but now it's Fox News.
Oh shit.
Ski food us.